and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours!
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's great.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
Boom, 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 GM. Talk to him, Josh. Let's go. Welcome back to another stream, guys, here on MCG. Tuesday, July 21st. We're feeling good. Stacked schedule. Got a couple great interviews for you.
Are we feeling good?
Actually, we're not feeling too amazing, but still, we're on stream. You know what I'm saying? And you might hear it in my voice chat. I'm sick as a dog, but we're still here. We still want to bring some alpha to you guys, give you guys a good show. So here we are, pushing through it. A lot of things happening here, man. Robinhood is still cooking, climbing the wall of worry on that side. I think that's essentially the thesis for Robinhood. Basically, like wall of worry until full blown, PvE bull mode season on. I mean, it's been that way for the most part. But you still see a lot of people trying to fight the wave, right? So yeah, definitely a lot to pay attention to there on Robinhood. Apparently NFTs are starting to pop off. So we'll likely take a look at that a little bit later on during stream. Let's run through stream and what that will look like today, so that way we have an idea of what we're walking into. So let me pull up the schedule for you guys, share screen, and bang. All right, cool. Let me pull this up for you guys. Here is the stream schedule for today. Like I said, Tuesday, July 21st. So we have first coming on CNX. This is a decentralized AI project that launched on Base. And so I'm going to be curious to see, like, are they migrating elsewhere? Are they of the belief that Base will come back? So we'll talk about that there. Gum.fun, that's also this prediction market. We'll be talking to them there at 1:15. And then Fire, Retire with Fire. I don't know if you guys remember their Base project, but they also, one of the ones that I believe had a migration or something like that to Robinhood. And so we're going to dig into that and the thesis there as well. So that's the show for today. As you guys see on the title, bear market ending, Robinhood season continues. Those are kind of the two things that I thought a little bit about. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it's very clear to me that at the very least we haven't at the very least we've already sort of seen the worst in the bear market. Like, everybody agrees that, right? Some people think, no, we need time-based capitulation, right? We need, months and months of sideways chop, etc. I'm starting to think that that's not necessary. Real quick, let's look at the Bitcoin chart. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart, and I want to run you guys through the thesis. Bang, here's the chart. Let's go to the 3-day, maybe. Yeah, let's go to the 3-day. Perfect. All right, so here's the Bitcoin chart. Here's the Bitcoin chart. As you guys can see, we're coming up into an area of resistance. I basically told you guys, what was it? This is early July, late June. I basically said, hey, look, we're running up here, and I drew out this line, and I told you guys, here's my target, and we're basically literally right where right in the target that we talked about. Now, why was this my target, and why is this important in terms of like where we are right now? Let me run through. First off, why is this my target? Well, we see that this purple line here at 60K or 59.7, if you want to be more specific, there's been a lot of liquidity being built up there at the lows. I think this liquidity will end up grabbing at that liquidity there, sub 60K. You guys have seen the green box for quite some time. You know that that's an ultimate target for me. And so a bounce there made sense because it's giving the market a false illusion that here in this circle and here in this circle, there's support, right? And so now we send it the other way. We now grab at the liquidity here in this fair value gap, and we're at that target. I would even say maybe we can even go a little bit further, like maybe like 67, 68K, somewhere there. But ultimately, that's what I'm looking for, right? That's what I'm looking for. Bang. We go up into that resistance. We push above the line, and we just dump it straight off. We
just send it right back to 59, eh?
Just send it right back the other way. So why is this important? Now you got the why. I think the why behind the price action movement. I told you the last time, this is the same thing for this time. It's all about liquidity, right? So we reach for the liquidity sub 60K. We wicked below it. We're building up liquidity sub 60K. Now we send it the other way. Now we're the other way. We're approaching that 67, 68K level, and we're about to grab at the liquidity the liquidity that we built up here the last time, as you can see marked off by this line and this fair value gap, all in the red zone. It's all, we're looking for a reversal there. And so now that's important because if you zoom out and consider the context, we have a new explosive ecosystem in Robinhood. And I know there's been a lot of runners, there's been a lot of things, but if you still haven't really like made a lot of gains, or maybe you rotated late, or maybe you bought the local top and things have pulled back and you haven't, whatever your experience is on Robinhood so far, whether it's good or bad, we're still very, very, very early. So I'm saying all of that to say, watch what's happening on Robinhood. Watch what Robinhood wants to be built on their chain, right? RWAs, agentic trading, all of that good stuff, meme coins. Um, take a note of that. And when we do hit this sub 60K level again, pay attention to what's pulled back and really going heavy, right? Like when we reach this sub 60K level, and you guys know that I've been looking for this like August bottom. So maybe even like it takes us a little while to get down here and really form this bottom to go back up. So maybe, maybe August, September is when we go up. But soon I'll be looking for shorts here very soon. And I think this is the last sort of, major leg down that we'll have in the market. And I say all of that. Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. I do have a few things I want to provide as maybe potential counter ideas.
Yep. The last thing I'll say is just I forgot that thought that I had actually, but that's the overall thesis. We're about to sort of fall off a cliff, it seems like, but the good part is that might actually mark the ultimate bottom and the start of the actual real bull run. Right now, we've only seen bounces on Bitcoin that lead to new lows, and I think this after this next dump to sub 60K, whether we go sub 50K even, that's a possibility. But my base case is mid 50s. Snag at that liquidity, front run all of the lower targets that everyone has, that everyone has. And then just full on reverse it going into the end of the year, and not giving the Q4, the buy in Q4 crowd, not giving them time to position. I think that's the ultimate thesis here.
Yeah, and I think a catalyst for this case study or this scenario is definitely like, I think macro has some headwinds, and if the market just pulls back, like I think this is generally pretty accurate to happen. Now, I will provide potential catalysts going the other way, because this has really crept up. And, I was pretty not happy with this yesterday, which is the Clarity Act being signed into law this year. They basically have like 2 or 3 more weeks to get this done. If they don't, it's like gonna probably not happen for a long time. But this has gone from 30% probability yesterday afternoon at 4 p.m. to now over 50%. I think it's 54% right now, which is really, really great movement. And the catalyst for this movement has been that Trump has reportedly agreed to ethics language in the Clarity Act. Now, the key thing here is that Democrats had wanted provisions for him or any president really in general to not run crypto businesses or profit from the crypto industry because they're writing legislation or they're in a position of power. Basically, this kind of directly targeting, his meme coin and crypto businesses. But apparently he's approved language. Maybe he's made enough money off us, who knows? But he has approved some language that is potentially going to clear this, and they're meeting today on it. So, that's purely, yeah, I mean, I think, Dom, this is generally always a thing with any legislation, but this has been cooking for so long and is so badly needed that maybe it just gets done, because it's just politically unpalatable on both sides if they don't do it. But who knows? So anyways, we'll keep watching this, but this is the live poly market. You can kind of see it's starting to do decently here at 53, and we'll keep an eye on this. But we'll know, today, by end of today, I feel like we'll definitely know. Cool. So that's kind of what I had, is just like something to watch as the odds improve there dramatically. Yeah, I don't know if you had anything else, Chill.
I think that's it. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just like coughing and sneezing, like I'm super sick. But yeah, I think ultimately like that could be a catalyst, the Clarity Act. I'm watching for that as a catalyst to the Robinhood ecosystem. Why do I say that? Well, Clarity Act provides, a lot of larger players the ability to like come in and create or push or support certain products. Thanks, Daddy Duster. Appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you. Yeah, I've been like it's preventing me from fully locking in here, but it's all good. Um, but yeah, I think Clarity Act, could be a catalyst because we see the push for tokenization and RWAs on Robinhood. So it'll be a natural kind of like a next step if the Clarity Act would actually act as a catalyst for the adoption of a lot of these like RWA protocols, ones that, whether they're giving, RWAs as rewards or they're, pairing like long.xyz. Maybe they're pairing nah, not like that, brother. Not like that, brother. Um, um, oh wait, I cannot say that on stream, but I can say gringo though. I can say gringo. But anywho, um, yeah, I think Clarity Act could be a huge catalyst for the Robinhood eco. So that's why I say like, a lot of people are looking now and they're like, oh man, like, am I too late? No, like if we truly have this last dump out, over the next, perhaps it happens in August, we truly form a bottom on Bitcoin, that could be kind of like a buying opportunity for sideline capital if you want to jump into Robinhood. Because I mean, I would even say a lot of prices now are beaten down, but I can guarantee that there's going to be many, many, many cooks ahead of us, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I should say, there are many cooks ahead of us. That I'm confident.
Many cooks ahead of us. Guys, as you remember, Meteora launched staking yesterday. So DLMM with meteora.ag /ref/MCG. Really appreciate. Definitely helps to support the show like crazy. Here's their staking dashboard. So just by using this referral link, you earn 2% of protocol fees from your eligible liquidity positions when you join using referral code. You can also then create a referral code and earn from the people that you refer beyond MCG, as well as stake your MET to earn 10% of DLMM protocol fees. Now they are earning, their revenue is about $30-something million a year. So this is a significant amount of money. You can see the cycle one rewards are 300,000 USDC just by providing liquidity. And just for staking, you're getting an 11% APR. Currently, there's 49 million MET staked, which I think is about at 15 cents, is about $7.5 million, give or take. So why, again, would you DLMM? It is a great way to earn passive income. And I actually shouldn't say passive income because it's not really passive. You do actively have to manage some of these positions. But right here, I have my cash cat position on from yesterday. I put it on back here. You can see that the chart has ranged perfectly right through my range, earning me all the trading fees in and around there. I've already taken profits on this. I've already claimed my fees, rolled it back in. So guys, go ahead and try out the Meteora DLMM terminal. It works really great. And Crypt Jones, if you have any great DLIMs to let us know about, please do. Remember, meteora.ag /ref/MCG. All right. And with that, let's
and real quick, we'll also be making a DLIM channel in the Discord. So I'll be making a few changes to the Discord this week. So we'll add a few sections that have been requested, and that way we can get that side of things going. We're about to introduce our first interview of the day, guys. So here is real quick before though, I do want to make sure we do our housekeeping. Let's make sure.
Sorry, chill. Sorry.
No,
trying to help out.
No, you're good. You're good. So let's all make sure we go to at MCG Live. All right. It's how much of us are here? We're about almost 200 here. We're about to pull up. We're about to pull them up here in a second, John Mark. Real quick though, let all the homies know. Let all the homies know that MCG is live. So go to @MCG Live. As you know, we're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We're coming up on 12.8K. I mean, dude, we've been gaining followers and growing like crazy. So this has been insane. So we really, really appreciate you guys. But make sure you're hitting that follow button. Scroll down. You'll see our pinned tweet today on MCG. You want to go down, do two things: hit like, hit retweet, let the homies know that we're live, let everyone know that MCG is kicking off. So with that said, let's go ahead and get our first guest on stream. Krynix AI, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Good. Well, it's good to have you on stream with us. We're excited to dig into your project and kind of get a sense of what you're building, why you're building it, what problems you're looking to solve. Before we get started, though, we'd like to talk a little bit about you, the founders, and depending on how anon you want to be, feel free to just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, what qualifies you to build what you're building, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure. Before founding Krynix, I was working in Google for over 10 years, starting in Android, building the Bluetooth encryption layer, and then working on Google AI. I built the NLP part of the TensorFlow Lite, the inference engine on Edge, and also joined its first called Lambda, then renamed to Bard, then called Gemini. I was responsible for the retrieval augmented learning, that is using Google search result to improve the factuality of the generated responses. Yeah, that's my last project in Google. And then after finishing that, I quit Google and started Krynix.
Were you based in Silicon Valley, or where did you work for Google?
Yeah, I was in Bay Area.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. What was it like, really quick? What's it like to work for a company like that, and then obviously pivot to crypto?
So working in Google is most like so the reason I stayed in Google for such a long time, that is because there are so many things I could learn. Like Google was top tier on mobile, and then top tier on AI. So I think that there are so many things I can learn that I almost get a new skill every 1 or 2 years. So, but after 10 years, I think, right, it's time to build something by myself.
Got it. Very cool. And so break into a little bit of what you're working on today.
So for Krynix, that is building a permissionless and decentralized AI network that utilizing the GPU at home to run AI tasks. So this idea, actually, we have this idea for a very long time, probably since 2010 or 2012. After Bitcoin comes up, we finally find, okay, the blockchain is the right thing to solve lots of the challenges here. Because in my school, I was working on something like bioinformatics, and that there is a famous project called using the computers at home to run the protein structure prediction. So that's very similar product. So you are using your CPU at home to run those compute. So after that, I was thinking, can we do something like using AI to do something similar? And after blockchain, we find okay, this is something that we can utilize to run AI tasks. We have been building this for a very long time. And I wrote a survey called Decentralized AI Review that almost describes the scope that we want to build eventually. But that's a really big scope. We will build this step by step. First thing is we get the compute layer that really works.
Okay. And so just so I understand correctly, you're taking people's at-home extra compute. They have a gaming, computer or whatever. Then they give it to this network, and then people can buy it. Is that correct?
Yes, people can. There are lots of the GPU marketplace on like 2 years ago. There are a huge difference between our product versus theirs. So, for example, there are one project that you can rent a GPU from their website, and someone provides a GPU, and you can log into that GPU to do whatever you want. There is a huge problem here. So if I want to provide my GPU and I can hack my system to say I'm providing a H100, but actually I'm providing a 3090. That's a really cheap GPU, but I'm
Right.
renting a higher price. No one can verify that. And for us, we find that clients they don't really care what kind of GPU they are using. What they care is, can you get the result back within a limited time? So before the timeout, you give me the correct result. So what we're providing is more like, we have an API. You can call this API. Say, okay, I want to run a inference on DeepSeek V3, and I want to get this done in like 100 milliseconds, and I want to pay this price. And in this way, we can find, okay, is there any GPU wants to run this task, and then get this result routed back to you.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Chill, if you want to ask a question there.
Yeah, quick question for you. How long have you been running this? I guess you can call it like an inference marketplace or a compute marketplace.
Mm-hmm. How long you mean? How long do we start this product?
Yeah, I thought I saw on that you guys, did something with the Near ecosystem a while
Yep.
back.
Yep. So we started the testnet in 2024, early 2024. And then we keep running our testnet, and thanks to our community, we have this running for a long time to make sure that everything works smoothly, stable, and in the meanwhile, we are also improving our infrastructure. And now we just run on live and go into the mainnet.
Got it. And I guess like we see a lot of like, AI inference marketplaces, these kind of like use your idle GPU, use your idle, compute or GPU, GPU to provide inference to different models or run different tasks. We've seen these marketplaces. What kind of makes you guys different?
Okay, so there is a huge difference here. One thing I mentioned earlier, that is for lots of earlier products, what they're doing is it's like they have a website, and you can choose someone providing a GPU and log into their GPU virtual machine or something like that to do whatever you want. So here is several challenges. First thing is most of the GPU providers are from the data center. They run a small data center. So if they run this data center to provide this kind of service, why don't they just how do they compete with the data center that's backed by Google or AWS? They have much better devices and much more supply, and probably a cheaper price if they have scale, if they can scale up. So this is one question. Second problem here is, as I mentioned, they can provide a GPU and claiming they are providing a H100 and charging you like $2 or $1 per hour. But actually they are providing 1/5 of the H100, or even worse, they provide a 3090 or even earlier GPU. You can never verify that because they hack the whole system trying to cheat on this network. So if you really want to get this decentralized, you should not trust the GPU provider, what they're providing. So how do you verify the result? It's through CoreNext. We have some mechanism to verify that. So, but from earlier marketplace, they have no way to verify that in this way.
So how do you do that? Is it a piece of software that you register what GPUs you have available, and it goes and checks if that's valid, or how do you verify that?
So we don't verify if you are running on H100. We'll verify that you are running the exactly same task and providing correct result before timeout. This is what our client really needs. So we have an algorithm called VSS ML to verify this. So we have a percentage of the task that goes through the 3-node consensus system that's cross-tracking by different GPU providers. And if they run the same result, we can claim that no one is cheating on us.
Got it. So you're running like mini tests basically that you should expect a certain result, and then the GPUs provide that result, and you're verifying that they're running it on the hardware they claim they are.
Yes.
Okay. And what size are these individual GPU contributors on your network? Do you have individual data center size scale, or is this like people in the early Ethereum mining days with just like, 10 of them strapped together at home?
So first, we cannot exclude people who run in a small data center to join us, because it's permissionless. You can do whatever you want. You can say I just have a big house and there are 100 GPU inside my house. But I would say that most of our GPU providers are individuals that's running GPU in their home. So this is actually making us very proud because this community first product, and the GPU providers are community first, and our everything is community driven.
Got it. I want to go through some of these analytics here you have on your website. For power, you have 2,800 teraflops. If I've said that right, can you just give us a sense of like how big is that? Like, is there an equivalent to the like energy? Because everyone talks about data centers in gigawatts and megawatts. Is there an equivalent of what that is in energy, or how should you qualify how big that 2,800 number is?
Wait a second. Can you see the link I've sent in the chat? In this dashboard, you can see all the GPUs that's on our network.
Yes. Feel free also, if you want to share screen, we can pull it up, by the way. And if you want to walk us through. How about doing that, and you can walk us?
Enough. Yeah, that's enough. So we don't have an exact number, say how big this network it is, like comparing with some data center. We know that how many nodes we have. We have over 200 nodes. And if you scroll down, you can see all the different GPU types on our network.
Oh, cool. All right. 6,000 Blackwell. I've heard this term, the name Blackwell, of course. In the GPU world, is this like the latest NVIDIA?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And I see these TASFE, CNX. So basically, if I understand, is the payment happening in CNX tokens? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I see if you go to weekly on the right there, the total task fee graph, it was basically 0 up until the 24th, when assuming you've kind of integrated this. What were you doing before this to incentivize people to contribute compute? How were you paying people before CNX?
Before CNX, so since the first day of the testnet, we are providing the test token of CNX, and we have promised that we will convert test token to mainnet token. And thanks to our community, they trust us, and we just use the CNX token as a reward to them.
Got it. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Chill.
What kind of users are you after? I mean, and I guess maybe we can start with, like, is it just your community kind of powering these metrics now, or and is it just going to be more of like a grassroots community effort, or are you looking at like onboarding, a different demographic of users eventually?
When you say users, what do you mean here?
Well, those, whether it's, people either, using. people
Okay.
actually using the inference, or those providing the nodes or the GPU power?
Yeah, sure. So eventually, definitely, we would like to go beyond our community, and it depends on the definition of community. From my definition, if you're using Chronux, if you're providing GPU to Chronux, you are part of our community. So, but if you say, are we looking for people beyond current community members? Yes, of course. For example, we are also working with AI Web2 companies to providing inference API to them to run their task on our network, so that eventually we like to see this is providing something that converting the fiat currency, providing AI task to AI Web2 company, and they pay fiat currency, and this is become a revenue to the network protocol and converting back to the CNS token.
Yeah, and I see you have total tasks there, almost 500,000. What kind of customers do you have using this today? When you talk about these Web2, companies, what are they doing? Are they training things? Are they, coming to you and say, hey, we want to improve this product, help us out? Like, can you give us an idea of who your customers are?
Yeah, sure. So first, our API is OpenAI compatible. So also, which means Open Router compatible. So if you want to use our API, you just need to change one line of your code to use Chronux API. And for the current tasks, I think there are two types of tasks. One task is from Chronux. For example, we run our chatbot on our Chronux, which means we eat our own dog food. So if you join our Discord group, we have a robot called Intern, and it's powered by Chronux API. It's surprisingly working pretty well. And also we have a small percentage traffic that are coming from I have a friend running an invoice scanning company, and that's one use case. And there are also some percentage of tasks we call it airdrop task, which means we use we run this heartbeat task to run this. Eventually, we like to see this airdrop task becoming disappear, and everything is coming from our customers.
Right. It looks like to me that you definitely need to have a solid pipeline of customers. Like, where is your constraint? Is your constraint on the customer side, getting people who are willing to pay fiat currency for compute, then convert it to CNX tokens, which ideally raises the price and the market cap of CNX? Or is it on the compute providers and you don't have enough? You have so much demand that you need more people providing compute. Where do you see kind of your constraints?
Yeah, so
if at all.
At this moment, so first, it's like the growth of the Uber, right? It's a two-sided market. For Uber, they need to get more customers. They also need to get more taxi drivers. But for us, at this moment, we like to see more customers on board, which means we have our GPU running endlessly to run these tasks. But when our GPU providers cannot finish all the tasks, probably we are going to another end that we want to have more GPU.
Got it. And to that kind of tangent, Crypto Jones asks, what's the total addressable market for a service like this?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, Crypto Jones asks, what's the total addressable market for a service like this?
Total address? The total market.
Yeah, like how much revenue do you think you could gather doing this? So maybe
how big is this market? How big is this market?
I mean, there's the market, and then there's the market that you think you could capture out of that big market, right?
Yeah, I see. So for Chronux, we are really good at performing the batch inference and offline computing, which means you are not latency sensitive, and you can just run the task and get back in like 1 hour later. It does not mean we need 1 hour to run your task. It just means you are latency insensitive. And this kind of task, From my experience in Google, at least 1/3 to half of the compute are this kind of batch inference or offline computing. So, but for us, we don't charge as much as online service, online inference. We only charge like 5% to 10% of the online inference, which means we only takes like 10% times 1/3. That is 3% of the total inference market size. And this is still huge market size from my perspective.
Yeah, how big
currently-
do you
Yeah,
think it is?
Yeah, currently the AI inference market size is roughly $100 billion. I believe that it's just growing exponentially in the future. And let's say 3% of that it's like 3 billion. It's a really big dream to us at the moment, but I believe that if we continue building our product, we will achieve that.
Yeah. And in this kind of, you have the neo clouds, like the CoreWeaves of the world. Then you have Meta, who's creating their own, and they've said they're going to sell inference to different providers, I believe is what they announced. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. And then you're kind of competing in this more decentralized version of these providers. Do I have that correct? Is that kind of the world you're competing within?
So if we talk about, let's say let's view this product from the customer's perspective. They don't really care if it's decentralized or not. What they care is, I run this API. Can I get the result I expect within reasonable latency, within reasonable budget? This is what they really care. So of course, we are competing with all the AI Web2 competitors. So what's the advantage from us? That is, we use decentralization to lower the cost to run this task. This is our biggest advantage.
Got it. So it's like a price, you have best price kind of situation. Do you have revenues today already? Is that something that's, you mentioned you already have some customers. Do you already have revenues?
At this moment, still zero.
Okay. So you're still pre-revenue and just scaling that up. Cool. I mean, maybe how does I guess, do you just put an API endpoint out there and customers come to it, linking up and trying to buy inference, or do you actually actively have to go out and find customers and sign contracts? I'm just curious of what it looks like to actually onboard someone.
So onboarding CoreNext is pretty easy. You just need to change one line of your code. By the way, we have this SDK in our website and GitHub. So you just need to change one line, and we are OpenAI compatible. So there's no burden to change anything in your product.
Very cool. Go ahead, Chill, if you want to take it.
Yeah, sure. So I guess the question I had was just kind of transitioning to token. How does the token come into this? What role does the token play? We talked a little bit about, the payment for inference, the token kind of being involved in that way. But just wanted to kind of get more details on that.
Sure. So we are doing the fair launch. So if you read our tokenomics, it's starting from 20% and then slowly emit tokens later in 20 for the next 20 years. So the token has several usage here. First, it's a reward to our miners. And miners will get tokens based on how much task and the quality of tasks they finish in the last cycle. Second is our customers can use token to run the task. Of course, they can use US dollars, and we will convert that to our tokens. Third thing is our miners can delegate tokens to run their nodes, and if you dedicate if you stake more tokens, you can have better chance to get high quality tasks, and you'll also get the emission from that.
Got it. Got it. Sounds good. Sounds good. So good good use case, good utility of the token there. You mentioned that you fair launch. You guys are on base, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I know that recently, base has kind of been in the news. For we saw Brian Armstrong, he kind of came out, had this long, Twitter, a long tweet about, kind of feedback that he's gotten from the community from the base community over the years. Like, how are you guys thinking about, being on base right now? Because, obviously Robinhood chain has launched, it has a lot of volume, a lot of attention. And then we're seeing base kind of take an L here short term. So just wanted to get a sense of how are you guys thinking and feeling as builders on base?
For us, we have very smooth experience working on base. We don't see any problems when we are running on that. By the way, we are doing the multi-chain strategy, which means we are not only on base, and base actually is a third chain that we integrate on that. So and for us, we have pretty smooth experience on that. But for the community responses, we don't see any problem there. And we are also going to deploy our product on Near. So this is next thing we are going to work on that.
Are you guys in contact with the team there at Near?
Yes, we have a pretty good relationship with the Near ecosystem.
And what does that relationship look like? Are they like actively supporting you guys on the building side, or are they opening doors for you guys? How does that relationship practically look like? Or is it just kind of like, hey, they know that we're around and they just approve?
Yeah. So I think Near has a really big belief on running their Near AI stuff. So we get several support. We get many support from them. First thing is, of course, they have people working on work with us to integrate our chain to Near. Second is we have exposures to their community through like Near AI Weekly, and some different channels to their community to share the progress and doing some AMA stuff with them.
Got it. Sounds good. Awesome. I think Josh, you're on mute. Oh, there you go.
Crypto Jones. It's a basically decentralized inference network, and companies come to put Krynex, use the API to basically access compute, and they do that by changing a line of code, integrates with ChatGPT, and yes, Krynex, if you want to correct any of my thinking on Crypto Jones' question of what Krynex does again. Hello?
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, Crypto Jones just says, would you mind running down what Krynex does again?
Yeah.
Yeah, just reiterating it to kind of close us off here, and maybe just future looking roadmap.
Yeah, sure. So for Krynex, we are providing the really cheap OpenRouter and OpenAI compatible API that everyone can use. And for us, next step is first supporting the multi-GPU nodes so that we can run better, run with bigger models, larger models, and also building some use cases that can show the real power of our products. And also, our eventual goal is not just doing inference. For example, we already support fine-tuning in our DevNet, and also probably we are also going to train models with our network in the future.
Awesome. Yeah, I see that's in your Beryllium and Lithium roadmap part. So you can go to the website and go check that out, guys. Project is supposed to be multi-chain. Only issue is liquidity would suffer. It should stay concentrated. yeah, I mean, this is a challenge, right? Like Robinhood's hot, Base is, kind of hot, and it's just a challenge being a part of these different ecos and finding the right fit. Chronics, anything else that we missed or you would like to say?
No. For us, if you pay attention to, if you notice that we name our network in a name of the chemical elements, which means we are going to build this for a long time. So you can believe that we have a huge belief on what we are building.
Awesome. What
Very
is
nice.
is Crinux one of the elements? You have hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium.
Yeah,
What's-
Crinux means crystallization and nucleation, which means we are going to forming our product to something that's really powerful.
Awesome. Well, good luck and keep us in the loop as this scales, and especially as you get customers. We want to hear about customers.
Sure, thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Crinix. Appreciate your time today.
Good luck.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, guys. That's Crinux. Really smart. I mean, he worked on a bunch of Android and Google things, Google engineer, and sometimes just really smart people, I guess. Yeah. So
Yeah, I think I'm trying to put together some takeaways here, Josh. I like the angle. I like the background of the founder, right? Like you mentioned, smart guy, has worked at Google for 10 years. So obviously from a building standpoint, you have that. Kind of like I asked him about kind of like what's going on Base, and his answer to that was, I don't know, you're staying on an ecosystem that, hasn't really supported builders. I mean, how many AI projects that were actually really pretty good came out of Base that haven't gotten that true support? I mean, we got to talk to the Knot guys, a month or two ago, and I don't even know if Base got in contact with them, and that's a massive project. So I don't know. I'm still trying to digest everything that was said in that last interview. I like the founder from a resume standpoint. I like the project, obviously compute, inference, just still unclear as to exactly what they do differently. I think he mentioned that they basically sort of they can confirm that a certain, I think he said there was like a test that was ran that's ran each prompt, and that makes sure that you're getting the answer that you should get, or that you're paying what you should be paying, or something like that, but still kind of unclear. But yeah, I mean, look, Frank C. I mean, what would be your advice moving to a chain with better support? Here's the crux of the situation. I mean, I've tweeted about this. Many other people have tweeted about this ever since the Brian Armstrong tweet. It sends a very strong signal that, hey, look, we're going to continue doing what we're doing. At the end of the day, the Base L2 chain, it only makes up 2 to 3% of Coinbase's revenue stream. Not something that they're necessarily worried about. If they lose the community, all right, it's lost, right? Like, they obviously haven't cared about the community enough to even engage with them on a regular basis, and that's the complete polar opposite was what you're seeing happening on Robinhood, right? Like, you got Vlad, the Robinhood team. Right now, I understand it's just them following a particular account or a particular person or project, and it's just a follow. But I mean, we're 2 weeks in. What does that look like in 6 months? Are they just following people, or is there actually going to be like some real support? But the fact that 2 weeks in, they're already taking note of what the community is doing, they're engaged with them, I think that sends a really strong signal that, hey, builders, we'll support you. And just so you know, here's the areas that we really want you to build in: RWAs, agentic finance, and then of course they don't mind meme coins. Golly, I cannot breathe.
yeah, and I'll chime in. You need customers. If you don't
Yeah.
have customers, you're basically inflating your token supply by subsidizing, the different people to be a part of the network. It's a little chicken and egg problem, but you got to go find customers. You know who's done this well is Avi Patel at Kled. He went and found customers to buy his token and then give it to people on the network. And so, yeah, if Crynex can go do that, yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about revenue, or else
Yeah.
it just kind of doesn't even matter. You could be on Robinhood, the hottest project, hottest token on Robinhood, but if you have no customers that are buying your inference, it's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
With
so
that, yeah. Sorry, go ahead if you want to finish off a final.
yeah, no,
thought.
just really early stage. I'll keep an eye on them, see what they build, see what traction they gain over time, and then we can kind of build a thesis from there. Francie says also about differences between Crynex and other similar projects. Is there mostly GPU marketplaces without consensus systems and VSS ML, which is a subject of research, can't explain it in a single sentence. Got you. Okay. Hey, appreciate you, Francie. Crypto Jones, it's tough because he's probably the right guy to build an amazing product, but I don't think he's the guy to bring it to market. Yeah, there is such a thing as like founder fit, right? Like, the Avi Patels of the world that can really
But even
use-
like Squire, the guy that's behind Squire, I always blank on his name. Really nice dude, and
Chris.
he's Chris, like super smart. He's ran up $100 billion companies, $700 million projects, and just like he's the guy that's gonna bring something like this to market and have it successful, in my opinion. But anyways, want to just highlight this because the raise is now live. We covered this yesterday, and it's kind of lag in my computer a little bit, so apologies there. But this is the Rip Cars launch, and this went live like 5 minutes ago, and it's already raised 4.5 million committed. Now, of course, with these MetaDAO launches, how this works is that you get your final allocation is a percentage of the total committed. So basically, if I wanted 10%, if these numbers stay the same as they are right now, I would have to commit 450,000 to get 10% or 25K of the 250K into the raise. Chris was really, really smart. This guy has got some very large companies, a serial founder. He was doing like SMS stuff in country of Georgia and had a huge percentage of the country's text messages going through his software and just like doing all sorts of stuff that were pretty impressive. Go watch the conversation from yesterday. But this I think is really cool because Hot Wheels cars, gotcha machines, I think will do very well, and it's a really nascent market. And he was also a market maker for some really nascent markets, and kind of that's what you need to be successful, is someone who understands a market structure and can price things accurately. So anyways, that is now at almost $5 million.
That's crazy. And that you said that was just 5 minutes ago?
5 minutes ago.
Wow. Nice. So MetaDAO's eco seems to be doing really good. Look, we've said it, man. I mean, MetaDAO, they're the best crypto native solution. I think the Hot Wheels kind of like sector, I think it's very niche, but at the end of the day, we see the trend, right? Like everything is going to come on chain, all these collectibles. I'd be interested in finding out if it's only going to be Hot Wheels or something else.
We could ask that. I think there's a few in that category, but here I'll show you the most valuable one. Let's see, Hot Wheels. Okay, here is the most valuable one. Chill. I think this is the coolest looking car ever, and like I swear, every kid like probably had not every kid had this car, but like I don't know. Let's see. So this is $175,000. This car right here.
What the heck?
And it's like this little Volkswagen Beach.
Little V-dub.
little V-dub with the 2 surfboards in there. And this isn't even in a package. Apparently this one is opened and it's worth that much. So interesting.
It's crazy how much some of these collectibles go for. But yeah, it makes me bullish on if you can provide liquidity to this market, like you said, accurately price them. That's a moat. And yeah, excited to see what they do, not only in the Hot Wheels, but just in general with collectibles. I think that's a huge market over there. How much would you guys pay for that thing? Give me a cheeseburger, and I'll give you the car. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That was disrespectful. I'm just kidding. Honestly, like I'm not a collectibles guy, I'm not a collectibles guy. So I don't know what I would pay for that. But if they say it's worth, 6 figures, that's what it's worth, right?
I mean, if there's a market there,
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of money anymore, Crypto Jones. I have mortgage,
Bear
debt,
market
and
vibes.
children. I got to put food on my table. So definitely not spending that much money on a Hot Wheels car. I'd rather have a real car for 175K. So nonetheless, do we want to tee up Gum.Fun here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get Gum.Fun up. From what I understand, Gum.Fun is it's like a prediction market platform. And so I'm excited to see exactly what they do that's different than other platforms. I believe it's a token launch pad for prediction market. So it's a unique concept that I haven't heard of before. So yeah, excited to dig in and see exactly what they're doing. And also want to get a sense of what's traction looking like on the platform. They say it's live on Solana and on Robinhood as well. So let's go ahead and pull up Louis Bagwork and let's get his
Should we watch
Yeah.
this? We got 1 minute before we grab Louis. Let's
do
watch their video here for context.
Hello to everyone at the March for Life. 453. First you stole my flow, so I stay a bitch. Can't trust a soul, to my pole and my kid. Straight up never lie, cause my heart won't to die. Then I sold the switch, then I hit it with Kiss Noir. All red, Mary Jane, just a mix of Rari paint. Mansion on everything, nothing even potty train. Niggas getting BBL, they keep being body shame. Throwing dirt on Rocky name, turn around and copy name.
That's a dope
Dude,
commercial.
Sick commercial. It's this. If you guys remember, I see Meteor is following Meteor Eco, so I wonder if they're using or Louis is using a DBC to power some of this. If you guys remember, what was it? PMX was one of those, but yeah, nonetheless, let's try and get Louis up here. I think Louis, you're good to go. If you give us a thumbs up. Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect.
Here. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Welcome to the show. How are you, brother?
What's up, guys? Been a long time coming. I've been looking forward to this show.
Yeah, man. Chill's gonna get your camera right. There we go. All right.
There you go.
Got you.
Well, hey, look, we're excited to talk to you today. I think this is the first prediction market like launch pad. I'm curious to see how does the token work? Because now essentially you're turning prediction markets into just tradable tokens, which I think is a really, really cool idea. And it makes it a lot easier for users and stuff like that. So I could see how this has potential and excited to dig into that with you today. But first, let's get a background on you. Just who are you? What qualifies you to build this? And just kind of tell us your background and your story.
Yeah, so I've been in crypto for about 9 years, and I started as a trader, and I made my big break trading a Celsius token. I don't know if it's forgotten at this point, Celsius Network.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, good it's forgotten, but so I made my big break there, trading. I got it really cheap. I just went all in in 2020, and I happened to be the best performing asset of 2020. which was
Yeah,
a blessing.
I remember a Celsius bull market. It didn't end very well, but yes, I do remember.
Yeah, it started almost the bull market because it was like one of the first things right
Yeah.
after the COVID pumps started. And so it was like I was riding that euphoria from 2020, and I did cash out like more towards the top, but I'll forever regret not flipping into Sol right at like it was like
Right.
it was like a baton handoff. Like you could have just like went right from the Sol Celsius peak of 2020 and then ride the best performing asset 2021. And
That'd
it's
be
'cause I didn't see
insane.
the SBF tweet. Is why I didn't do it.
There's,
You know?
there's
Wait,
a few
wait,
of those
what-
baton handoffs I've regretted over the years. But yes, give us what's the SBF tweet that you missed?
Yeah, you guys remember like he was like, "Sell me all your soul at $3," because he was mad it wasn't going up fast enough, like with everything else.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Sell me your $3 and fuck off." Like,
Oh, that is
if I
so
saw that
that's
tweet, I already knew Solana. I was already like researching. I don't know why I didn't like flip into it.
so is that where that originated? Like I see people say that all the time. Is that where that originated from that tweet?
What the?
Just sell me all you can and F off. Like, is that
Yeah,
is that
was
where
the
that
tweet, and
originated?
that's like literally Sol like started going off like right after that. It was at like $3 when he tweeted that.
That's crazy.
And then
What
it
a
went to, like,
handoff.
250 that same year, like or something like that. Something crazy. I just
How long did it take you to get your big break in crypto? You mentioned that you're a trader. How long did it take?
I started in 2017, so it was just like the peak of the bear market. I wasn't like trading like a lot. I was more like researching fundamentals, but also like buying, kind of like what this show does. Like I was looking for
Got you.
gems, like, but like it kind of is a
We
trade.
find the
like,
gems. That's right.
yeah, it's like gem trading, but like also fundamentally researching and like trying to ride like a big pump. Like
Yeah.
so.
So how did you go from trading and doing that and you know other parts of the bull market? I'm sure because it's been 2021, 2022 down for a bear market, then 2024 up into what you're doing now. Is did you trade at all in 2024 or kind of like the meme coin season?
Yeah, so the bear market, when they hiked the rates, like kicked my ass. Like as soon as that meltdown happened and everything was blowing up, Celsius and stuff. Because I had like the stock too or whatever, my family. I set myself family up with that, and so that was blowing up. And so then I kind of had to like, but I was always like wanting to like reinvest. So I was like doing a lot of angel investing and like just like the money I made, I was just rapidly redeploying because like just full degeneracy. Like I was doing like angel investments. I was trying to make my own company, but like that wasn't really working out. I was trying to make it on Solana because I was mad that I missed it. This was like 2021, late 2021. And I couldn't, there weren't enough devs like on Solana to like even just get something going. Like all the devs were just very few and they're all doing their own thing. Like they weren't like working on other people's ideas and stuff. So I went to then like I'm just in the trenches. Like after Solana came back, I started really looking into like I never left Solana basically, my love for it, but I just kept researching and just like being in the trenches. And I found my co-founder who was like in blockchain circles I knew already. And I was like, yo, he was like, this brings us all the way to 2024, 2025. And I remember, you guys remember like PMP? We were on here last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so predict and pump. Yeah. Were you predict and pump?
Yeah, so I was like part of like I wasn't on the team, but I knew the co-founder already, my technical co-founder Proxima, and so because we were like in blockchain circles already and stuff, but and I was like, yo, I'm down to like work on this because it was like I was really interested in prediction markets and like that was like the thing and like
Yeah,
they were like the only ones doing the permissionless prediction markets on Solana, like the first ones, like a lot of them did it like that summer after.
We covered them
like,
heavily.
Yeah, I was like, yo, like I'm gonna try, like let's try and make this work. And as we can see, 2025, like on the
well, I mean, here's the problem with some of these prediction market projects is the tokens all out, performed quite well. PMX ran up to crazy. There was Predict and
Yep.
Pump. There was, I mean, I can't even remember. There's a bunch of them. OX Fund. There was tons of stuff going on, but the trading volume still sat with, you know, the major players like Polymarket and Kalshi. And I don't know if these were just like front end wrappers for Polymarket and Kalshi and just kind of didn't differentiate enough, or like, why don't you think like that era of prediction markets didn't really kind of succeed and break out?
Well, the narrative was really good. It was like, well, you have the order books, you have the incumbents, like, so like logically, like there should be a user created version. Like there was a pump fund for, you know, for long tail assets like regular assets. So obviously everyone thought, and it got hot, and a lot of the things were infrastructure too that popped off, but like that like really didn't have a high like addressable market in a sense. But then you had like the few players like PMP and PMX, like we were all trying to make permissionless prediction markets work, and a whole lot of other too. They got funding, like it was hot, and there's a reason why it still doesn't exist right now. Like we all.
But why is it like the math is too hard, or the mechanisms didn't work, or you know, 'cause some of them were also using Meteor DBC to create the underlying AMMs or whatever. Yeah, what do you think was the reason that they didn't work out? Or was it just that traders wanted, you know, just deposit my soul, click buttons on Polymarket. I don't want to have to sign transactions every time I sell or buy a yes or no token.
Yeah, so it's just the nature of the long tail and like liquidity bootstrapping, and also like you can't attract liquidity if there's just a lot of adverse selection. So it's like what we call like if it was like Polymarket or something, you'd call it toxic flow. It was just like anybody that's informed like could really like, it really screws up the LPs, like anyone providing liquidity. So you need to have like more of an order book to protect yourself like at all times. Like if it's passive liquidity, which is like anything DeFi or like permissionless, it's like you're a sitting duck as an LP for any market that someone has informed flow to just take your liquidity, and you're not making money because you're not playing an active order book in between like efficiently. So if that makes sense, you're just a sitting duck with passive liquidity. That's why these permissionless prediction markets didn't work.
Got it. So it's a liquidity problem. Chill, did you have a question that you wanted to?
No, just I mean, maybe this is where we can kind of deep dive into what you guys do different at Bubblegum.
Yeah, so we like took a year of us like realizing like, yo, like this permissionless prediction market really isn't working at PMP. So we spun off and like, wait, what if we combine meme coins and like didn't make the ultimate goal, I guess you could say, the ultimate goal, like just having the precision prediction market and like having the, you know, like the pricing, the perfect outcomes on these long tail questions that aren't as popular. And like, what if we try to use meme coins that just bootstrap the liquidity and just let the market play for that as the currency? So you don't have to worry about like when you're playing for a meme coin that's just more of a meme coin, you don't have to worry about that adverse selection I was talking about. And your liquidity providers they're not in a bad position as much to get the toxic flow, if that makes sense.
I'm trying to just understand like why today you think this, because look, we all want prediction or permissionless prediction markets. I think it's very clear there is a market for this to succeed, but it hasn't. Sorry. And I just, so what you're saying is you guys are solving uniquely for the liquidity side, making sure that there's a market maker there for the taker flow. Is that correct? And the takers are people that are degenerately betting.
Yep, it's the casino that bootstraps the coin, but it also is based on like it has to be based on a hot question, like attention generating question, which is the whole idea.
Do you want to show us like a demo? I don't know if you are live.
I was spending like the minutes before like trying to make sure I get my screen share work. I think it's working now though. So.
Yeah. We'll let you set it up before we bring it up here. So just let us know when you're ready to go. But I think we need to see it to understand.
Yeah, you gotta see it to believe it.
Of course.
Yeah, no, visually it'll help put the pieces together for sure.
Yeah, so can you guys
Yeah, here I'll pull it up. You just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm pretty much ready to.
Good to go?
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't want to, dox your search history or anything like that.
That's
so
all good.
when you're ready
I
to
got
go.
nothing to hide.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is what. There we go.
All right. So you see my screen right here?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So these are all the markets people launched, and this was our like main market, I guess, that just resolved. Well, market cap's down now, but so this was our runner originally. Like, well, this is our inaugural runner that actually graduated to Meteor, World Cup coin, our own World Cup coin. So I had a question. And will the powerhouses win the World Cup? It was France, England, Spain, Germany. It actually got to the end, like an even yes or no, because it was Argentina, which is not included on here, versus Spain. So it went all the way to the end.
But wait, will the powerhouses win the World Cup and Argentina's not one of them? That they're prolific.
Yeah, so
winners, bro.
actually we made this question, but I did it so like there was a chance for the no. Like I couldn't just put all powerhouses. Like,
right. All right, I got you.
And it happened to end up at like all the way to the end, like it was contestable market.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. I understand. Very cool. Okay, so walk us through here. Maybe scroll down here so you can see the outcomes. So this is the price history or probability history. I also see candles. What's candles? Can you click on that?
Oh yeah, it's just let's see. It's just showing the trading view link to the
so what are the candles? Yeah, what do the candles represent? Is that the amount of capital that's in the yes and no side?
No, this is just the price post graduation. So this is checking off Meteor and like Deck Screener and stuff because this coin graduated. So it topped out at like only like 50 something K market cap, but this was like our inaugural launch and like trying to really test to see like the flow and how it's stuff because it's all very new stuff. But
right, but I mean, so let's say I'm just trying to understand what the market cap represents, right? Because it's not a token value per se; it's a prediction market, and so on Polymarket, you could say the market cap is like, either the volume through the pool, but probably more likely how much liquidity is on either side, right? And you add it up. Is that correct?
So our whole idea is like the price, just like a meme coin, validates the worth of like in Pump Fund's case, it's a token, but this is the worth of a question.
Okay.
So the price is almost like what scales the liquidity. So the higher the market cap, the higher like any meme coin is like how much attention is worth and how much like people want to trade it, which ties into like our need to like make sure we're fostering an environment for a coin to run. So like that's why we use the same Pump Fund flow and everything, and like make sure like supplies and bundle and stuff and like whatever, like, but so it's just market cap is the worth of the question essentially and the price, just like any meme coin.
So am I buying World Cup because I see World Cup -USD and then I see yes and no on the right hand side? Am I buying a yes or no token, or am I, like you mentioned, buying World Cup the coin itself?
Yeah, so I'll go from the beginning. Actually, let me like launch a coin right here.
Sure.
So, like we could really go through
Go for it.
All right. I have it set up right here. We'll call it Toli. Tweet. Will Toli endorse Bubblegum? So there you get the ticker, and you got to put an image. Have that ready. Now make it like we'll make it like 3 months. you can make like the deadline right here and stuff.
Yeah.
Essentially, you do want it to be longer because you want the coin to be able to run. Like you don't. It's not made for like tomorrow to be answered tomorrow. Like
Okay.
so. There.
Password is password. Got it. Just kidding.
Nah, it's all right if people get in this wallet. All right, sign that. And this is Phantom Warnings right now. We're still working on fixing that.
Yeah, no worries. We
As in,
understand
yeah.
live demos.
Yeah. I should use a different wallet, honestly. To like not.
Totally Tweet is live. Cool.
Yep. But
Okay.
did it on MCG. So
There we
basically
go.
now, let me go through like what the idea is now that this is launched. So
Okay.
So the bonding curve is a prediction market. That's like what the main thing is. It's tied to a prediction market. There's no getting around it. You can't just buy the coin without participating in the prediction market on the bonding curve. So when you buy any amount, say like, I guess I could go through it. Yeah, buy 1 SOL of yes. Go to the warnings. It's safe. You get well, the odds change immediately because that's the prediction market.
Yep.
But you get a this is going to be shown on here. Well, you get a yes or no token. So the token, the actual ticker, the Totally Tweet token, is in the CPM. It's in our contract, CPMM. So, but really, what you get in your wallet right now is yes or no tokens, which you mint or burn, and that decides like what you will get in the prediction market. So,
Okay. So in your wallet, I saw the Totally meme coin token that you had. Assuming that because Phantom doesn't recognize it, they don't show the yes token also in there. Are those are two separate tokens, right?
Yeah, so you get the yes or no token, whichever side you buy, and you get the actual ticker, but it's still in our contract. Like you can't actually transfer the Totally Tweet.
Got it.
Until after graduation,
Yeah.
which that validates a market's like attention, I guess, if it makes it to graduation. It's a filter.
Yeah.
Or
And if I sell the Totally Tweet token, does it close my position?
you won't be able to do that until post graduation, but yeah, you would have. So basically, you mint and burn the yes or no tokens when it's on the curve.
Yeah,
it's you burn it back to SOL, just like on Pump Fund. But when it graduates, you can convert based on your estimation and what the prediction market is showing to the ticker, and then you have to sell down an AMM, in our case Meteora. And then that essentially, so that it'll convert your position to the actual ticker post graduation, and then you have to sell down the AMM.
Right. Okay. Chill, do you have a question?
I'm still trying to put the because what it reminds me of is meme coins with an expiration. It essentially is kind of what this is. When you make the coin, I'm just trying to understand, are people buying yes and no, or are they buying the token?
So on the bonding curve,
let's assume that the token's migrated. So we have a very simple thing. Let's say the Totally token is live, it bonds, it's live. What are users buying and selling?
Yeah, so you go, like, it's the same flow as like any meme coin, goes on deck screen, whatever, someone gets it listed, or you could just buy off the Meteora page. And so you could buy the token and you could still use the same prediction market, except now you're actually using the ticker and not buying on a bonding curve with SOL. Like you need to have the ticker now, which you buy on the market, to use the same prediction market that's been going on from the bonding curve. It just becomes a prediction market fused with that meme coin.
Right. So I buy Totally token thing. It sits in my wallet. I now come here and I can then choose a side that I want to.
Yeah, you don't have to. Like once it's graduated, you could just play the meme coin. You could play the runner.
Right. I play the runner, play the meme coin. But then people are also then using the token as kind of like you have to own the token to then place a prediction. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm getting there. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it. That makes sense.
It's
right
hard
there.
to like, yeah, but like it's really easy once you really like just really take like a time to understand it. But we gotta show the world like that it's easy.
Got it. Got it. So you make a token. You know, pre-bond it's different, but once the token bonds, you basically need to buy the token in order to participate in the
Yeah.
prediction market.
If you're opinionated and you want more of that token and you're opinionated about the question, then it's there.
And so you can buy, you can kind of like trade this back and forth. I remember you said, hey, look, it's better to have tokens that have a longer deadline, 3 months, 5 months, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that gives traders the ability to, you know, maybe like buy yes when it's low, sell high when it goes high, maybe rinse and repeat that. They're able to do that when they own the token. Like,
Yep.
I guess how much of that, like, are they putting up like their token as like a stake, or is there more value that needs, or like stable coins that need to be injected to buy the yes or no, or how does that side of it work?
No, it's just whatever token amount you have determines like your movement and depth in our prediction market. So
Got it.
you'll still get based on the odds, like right here, you'll get the estimated amount, like it'll show you on the UI of like what you can earn if the odds shift, like what you'll earn on outcome resolution, but also if the odds shift in your favor, you'll still be your position value will be going up. And this happens on the bonding curve as well.
Got it. See, this is really interesting. And that's what I was saying before the interview. Like, you're almost kind of like wrapping prediction markets up into a meme coin. Into a meme coin. I'm super sick, by the way, Louis. So apologies for my voice. But you're basically wrapping.
Yeah.
So basically, you're wrapping up meme coins, or rather prediction markets, into meme coins, and I think there's a natural like link in between the two, because we've seen meme coins for, you know, that represent kind of like a bet on a certain event. I guess what I'm trying to ask here is like, what's the 0 to 1 moment for you guys? How do you position yourself to kind of like help people to understand like the relationship that meme coins have with prediction markets, and how you can really combine both to supercharge your returns?
Yeah, so we just need to let the trenches know, like the whole point is to like, it's about balance. Like if it's too much of a prediction market, then it kind of affects the way like the meme coin dynamics work, and then like it kind of like doesn't allow it to run. So we make sure we have like a good balance of like allowing both things and not, you know, letting supply get over concentrated, or like just, and that's why we want like a longer question, is so like it can run before like this deadline happens, where then like the supply shift. But we just want to show that like there's a fundamental in the meme coin itself. That what's the game plan to help the trenches understand that? I mean, I think a lot of times it comes down to distribution with a lot of these things. Like, how do you get the word out? Yeah, so I mean, we're working on our marketing plan stuff. We just got the Solana retweet like a couple of days ago, which gave us a big awareness boost. But
nice,
you know, just keep going on lives like this, and just like really explaining like how it works. And just honestly, terminals are big too. Like we want to work with terminals to like really cater to like how we have our flow, and like what like stats and data, you know, like so the trenches are aware of like what's going on under, and just like being able to make it like as good as Pump Fund, except there's a real fundamental within these coins.
Yeah.
There may not be as many, but yeah.
Fair enough. Walk me through some of the other features there. I see Gumdrop, Hall of Fame. What are those different?
Oh yeah, so this is just our airdrop campaign, or points campaign, because we don't have a live token, so you can accumulate points. We've been having this since testnet, and you could do certain actions like right here: buy, graduate, launch, to get earn points. The Hall of Fame, that's just like extra stuff my co-founder made. Just like review stuff. Like we have a how it works page right here. Oh yeah, this is actually really big if you really just want to read into like and you're confused. Kind of like sums it up right here.
It's a nice website you guys have.
Yeah, very nice UI.
Working on it a while. And there's like more things. So like I wanted to highlight like right here is like it shows holders, which let me go to the World Cup version because that's better. So like you won't be able to sell like on Meteora or Deck Screener or whatever on chain. It'll show like one giant contract, like one giant wallet, which is our prediction market. And so like it looks wonky like in terms of distribution. So we want to bring people to our UI so you could see like who owns what amount of yes no tokens and what share that gets you. Like so you could see supply, which is very important for like when people need to see like the beginnings of meme coins and stuff, because it's on our prediction market naturally. So it's an important feature.
Got it. And where so the money that the 9.5% of the yes tokens, the money's coming from the no selectors. Is that correct?
Yeah. So like on resolution or in the lifetime. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess on resolution that the money's. I'm just trying to understand. Who's the zero sum game, right? So the money's got to come from somewhere. So it's coming from the no crowd. I'm assuming. Now, obviously, you have this live meme coin. Is there a fee that meme coin is taking for trading? Is there fees generated that kind of boost these payouts?
Yeah. So we have this is the interesting thing. So our fee structure is we have a creator fee, but it's not as big as pump funds because, as you can see, like in the last half year or so, whatever, you've had all these protocols like Snowball, whatever. We're just like we need to do something better with creator fees. That was like a very important like thing going on. So we decided to like take a big chunk of the fee. So we have less creator fees, but a big chunk of the fee and make it into the winners of the prediction market get a chunk of this fee. So as a coin runs, it's also funding like a separate side pot, I guess. That
prize pool.
Yeah, the same ratio of winners that win the prediction market and ride it to the end can claim from this fee pool. So if you get a really big runner, you essentially it ties a grounding fundamental of our prediction market to real money, like guaranteed, off the fees that it generates. And we don't believe any launchpad has ever done anything like that to really reward something fundamentally with the fees generated. So that reinforces the use of a prediction market per coin.
It's very interesting. I think I want to see a platform like this succeed because these are really interesting kind of token dynamics. I see Robinhood at the top right there. What's the use for Robinhood? And it's Solana based, or I'm assuming it's Solana based because obviously using Meteora. But what purpose does Robinhood play?
Yeah, so we worked on this the longest on Solana, but we like for the last 2 weeks we've been heads down the Robinhood contract, and my co-founder knows EVM very well, so it wasn't hard for him to like transfer it over. So, but we just saw like you guys see what happened to Robinhood. We wanted to just bring it over. I'm bringing to the app right here. So we launched at the same time. We launched our open mainnet on Robinhood and Solana at the same time.
Very cool. Vlad versus Brian versus Tolly. Huh.
That's some market somebody made. I don't know how that would even work, but
yeah. Okay. I mean, so I think we understand the product. This seems like very early still. Is that correct?
Yes, it's very early.
Like you don't have a lot of volume metrics you can point to yet, and you're just kind of getting awareness out.
Yeah, we had like 20K total volume on the World Cup coin, so we made like some revenue from there. But the whole idea is there, like, gotta spread the awareness.
Okay,
got
cool.
it. A quick question here from the chat. Crypto Jones says, "What are your ideal partnerships or integrations? Like, can you integrate this into like a website, like into what are you guys shooting for exactly?"
Like I said, we want to work with terminals because like it could be complex, like the whole flow of things. We want like all the data to be like just aggregated in a way that like it's easy for UI. So any terminal partnership is good. I haven't really thought big on that BD part, but like any sort of like, I guess, I don't know, marketing, like FOMO would be really good if you want to get specific.
Got you.
Cool. Maybe talk it through just if you have plans for a token, when are we talking? Months, years, days? It feels like something like this almost needs a platform token to kind of like get it going a little bit.
Yeah, we've thought hard on like, should we launch on Bonding Curve or like other ways? I guess there's so many ways you could do it now, like MetaDAO, stuff like that. But right now we're just keeping no token because we're still like trying to work with VCs and like whatever they like want you to not have a token and stuff. So we don't want to like act too soon. We also want to get this going. We want someone to take a shot on us like ASAP. Like, please reach out. We've been reaching out to some degree, but so there's so many paths you could choose. It's like, which the right path?
Yeah,
I feel. I mean, if you guys are, I think MetaDAO might be a great place for you guys. I mean, you can still raise money. You can still kind of come up with a plan with the community to push this forward. But yeah, like you said, there's so many different ways you can take this at the same time. So, glad that you guys are already in talks with some VCs. Walk us through like roadmap, vision as we close out the interview here. What's coming out of these conversations with VCs? How's that going to affect, how you guys move over the next, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 12 months?
Yeah. So once we raise money, like it's on go mode. We're going to move fast with marketing and stuff and awareness. Essentially like meme coins and stuff, it really is a giant attention game. And we want, it's like an ember. Like once it catches fire, like we believe it catches fire. We just need to make sure like that happens first, because fundamentally, like I think we really believe it's a sticky product that we have. So
what about deploys? Do you have people deploying tokens and markets? Because that feels like it's also an important part of the puzzle.
Yeah, we definitely want to work with deployers more too. Like we have a couple of KOLs for awareness, but we haven't had like any deployers. So any funds, we're going to try and also accelerate on that end, and just got to work with people and like just get the word out. And then once it catches, I think it really catches. So
yeah, and you guys are connected into the Meteora crew.
Yeah.
Already? Okay.
Yeah, cool. we've been steady talking with their team and stuff about like mostly like awareness and like marketing stuff. But
okay, cool. I think that's it for me, Chill. Any final thoughts? I mean, one final question I had is just what part of the world are you in? I mean, you have an amazing looking backyard. There's a pool there. I'd love to just like go swimming. Like that looks awesome.
Yeah, it's actually pretty rainy though. I'm in Arizona. It's monsoon season, so I haven't really got a chance to go in the pool, but
yeah, fair enough. Okay. Well, Louis, thank you very much for joining MCG. I think we'll keep an eye on this one, especially if it starts taking off. Please let us know.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Of course.
Absolutely. The pleasure's ours. Appreciate your time.
All right, see you, Louis. All right, guys. That is Louis Bagwork working on Bubblegum. Really interesting idea there, Chill. Interesting idea.
I like literally this is the takeaway. It's a meme coins with an expiration date. And when when we were looking into prediction markets and stuff earlier this year, this was kind of like our takeaway from prediction markets, is that it's going to kind of eat into the the meme coin volume, because essentially a lot of people created meme coins for certain events, right? Like we'd see like, you know, a tweet come out, and you know, an Elon tweet would come out, and then there would be a meme coin that would kind of basically say, hey, like if he interacts with this, says this word, tweets about it again, then you know the meme coin would essentially send. So I think combining the Jude, I hate my voice. Holy moly, I can't breathe. But I think combining the meme coin and the prediction market elements together, I think that's a really, really powerful. And then for those who are kind of more familiar with the prediction market aspect, he has the ability for you to like dig in deeper into that meme coin and actually vote yes or no, or buy the yes no shares for the actual prediction market side. So it's essentially a meme coin with a built-in prediction market. Yes, I am, bro. Yes, I am, Dom. I am struggling, dude. I'm trying my best out here, man. I really am.
Yeah, Dom, this might be one to, I know we have a chat with Louis Bagwork, but helping out, seeing if there's some way we can help out here, because it is fascinating. And if the mechanism works, definitely want to be there fairly early because it's interesting.
I think this has really strong potential.
Like World Cup token launched, and then they launched all the country tokens. Again, really great idea, but it's like, you know, you're just buying a meme coin versus like then buying a meme coin and then placing prediction market bets, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I think yes. So I don't know. Anyways, Louis Bagwork, I think we're gonna get in contact with you, see if there's anything we can do to help. Very, very interesting. I'm gonna put it in the interesting, category here.
Yeah, I mean,
unique
it's
idea.
Look, it's meme coins with built-in prediction markets, right? Like I think that's pretty simple.
Pretty straightforward,
Yeah, pretty straightforward. It's just like Dom said, yes, it is a messaging thing. It is just kind of hard to explain to the market, but with a lot of these things, you have to just layer it on. You have to go at it layer by layer. So the first layer would be built-in meme coins with built-in prediction markets. The second layer would kind of be going into that prediction market aspect, explaining that. And then the third layer would be going deeper into the underlying bonding curve, how that works, etc. I think we started the interview going in on the deep end instead of just kind of like coming from at a high level and then slowly like zooming in. That's how we usually try to run these interviews. But yeah, definitely harder to explain to the market. But Bubblegum here answers Dom's question from earlier. So just for context, not that question, this question, Dom asked, each token represents your prediction while also acting as an attention vector, since as the market cap increases, people realize and place bets. Over resolved, does LP drain then pay you as if it were a prediction market? And basically Bubblegum comes back and says the liquidity is drained at the discretion of the winners selling tokens. We also have mechanics to decay the impact of this all at once. He also follows up, but yes, they would be selling on the AMM. So yeah, very, very unique product. Very unique product. And I agree, Crypto Jones, very rare to find. I think they're onto something. If they can solve the distribution side of it, right? Like whether it's partnerships, funding, or what have you, I think this eventually actually does very well. So yeah. Dom says, chill, thoughts on AI and long platform in general. Plus, what are you watching on Robinhood and why? Yeah, let's do we have a 2:00 coming up here, I believe. Yeah, we have a 2:00 with Fire and Saunders. So I'll do this. Let me run through the thoughts on AI and the long platform, because I think that really relates to Fire and what they're doing. I actually posted a thesis on Twitter here just the other day, just to kind of run through and put together like my entire thesis on long.xyz. Now we talked to you guys about long.xyz. It was like last week or the week before. I mean, we've been in this AI token for a little while now. So let's see here. We've been in this AI token here for a little while, and here is the thesis behind AI, behind the platform that AI was launched on, which is called long.xyz. So here's the rundown. You can basically pair tokens with stocks. That's the long and short of it. And after this platform launch, we saw that the Uniswap founder, he was bullish on the concept. We saw Vlad and Robinhood kind of say, hey, builders, if you're building in RWA, you're integrating tokenized stocks, like send us a DM. We want to speak to you. And so obviously they're interested in this niche. Long.xyz actually got followed by the Robinhood head of product, and he's also head of DeFi as well. So very, very interesting that this platform is already starting to, get the attention of, a lot of bigger folks like Uniswap, like Robinhood, like Vlad himself. All right. So that's the first part of the thesis. Obviously, the next part is this is the next evolution of meme coins, or maybe even coins in general. Like imagine, like I saw something in the comments here, like imagine the SpaceX mascot paired with SpaceX, the stock, right? So now you have a meme coin that's kind of driven by the underlying momentum of the stock that it's kind of built, that the meme is kind of built on. The way I'm thinking about it, and I'm not sure if this made sense, I didn't put it in the tweet, but they're sort of like social L1s. So stocks are now like memeified L1s. Like memes can be built on top of these stocks and ride their momentum, right? And I think here's the bullish part. OpenAI has an IPO'd. Anthropic has an IPO'd. Kraken also has an IPO coming up as well. We saw after SpaceX launched, we saw that be a huge driver of tokenized stock adoption, right? Like we saw that people were trading it on Hyperliquid. We saw Sunrise DeFi was pulling out huge numbers in terms of volume being traded with the SpaceX stock. And so, these IPOs tend to accelerate that adoption, helps people to get more comfortable, more aware that these types of assets are available on chain. But, these now meme coins, they're basically like every stock that's crypto related is going to have a meme coin paired to it, right? Like any stock that's bullish. So if people think the Hood stock is bullish, maybe there's some sort of like Robinhood meme that attaches to that stock, right? But here's the part. The AI token is connected to NVIDIA, right? So here is the chart of AI. Here's the chart of AI.
Oh my goodness.
We've been watching this AI. We've been watching this AI token for quite some time. With this, like the Discord, many in the Discord, like we're down here, bro. We're down here with it. Like, honestly, a lot of us, some of us were even down here with it, but a lot of us were kind of here. But essentially, this was the entire thesis was that, hey, you have long.xyz. They're building in a direction that Robinhood wants to go in anyways. And, degens now have like a sort of like L1 to a social L1 to kind of build their meme on top of. So if someone's, this AI, I mean, this makes so much sense. It's AI paired with NVIDIA. Obviously, it's the AI stands for artificial Inu. Right, memes and Inu, we know like Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, like we see the sort of like lore that Inus have in the meme coin kind of sector. This just makes a lot of sense. It's a perfect meme coin on top of a particular.
So do you own the stock, or is it just a name associated with it?
No, you don't own the stock. So the meme coin is paired with the stock in the liquidity pool. So if you guys don't know how liquidity pools work, as the price of the
Oh,
asset rises, as the price of the stock rises,
yeah.
then it will then pull up the meme coin, right? And then the inverse is true
Oh,
as well. But here's the other thing: as the price of AI increases, it would also, that would also mean buy pressure for the stock in the liquidity pool. So what we've seen now over the last few days, as AI has, basically gone up, it's accounted for 30% of the Nvidia volume on Robinhood. So of all of the tokenized stock volume for the Nvidia tokenized stock, all of that volume, 30% of it is because of this meme coin. And so what you have
seriously,
now,
that's crazy.
yeah. And so
Jansen Wong is going to be impressed by that for sure.
and so what you have now is a direct connection from on-chain to TradFi. So imagine if we were to have had this, like, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 10 months ago. We could have experienced the bull market of equities just with AI, right? With this platform. And so what I mentioned in this tweet here was that, essentially tokens are directly tied to TradFi, and they can create some interesting on-chain waves, because again, TradFi kind of moves on its own sometimes. We see that sometimes crypto kind of front runs the dumps. Perhaps it dumps more. When it bounces, we've seen that, like, equities bounce much harder than crypto. So there's these, like, differing dynamics between TradFi and on-chain. But now with this direct connection through long.xyz, we can actually now ride these different TradFi waves on chain through these meme coins. And maybe they start as meme coins, but perhaps they end in something else. But like I mentioned, AI is the proof of concept. And so, the higher this goes, this is kind of a representation of how well this platform can do. And obviously, if the chart is any indication, this can actually do very well. All right. So that is the AI
Very, very
long
impressive.
platform kind of general thoughts for you guys. Wanted to fully break that down so everyone kind of understands exactly what's going on. And shout out the Discord, man. Like I said, we've been in that one
10x. Wow.
pretty early, and we're up 10x on that one. So shout out the homies in the Discord. But like I said,
If you
this
guys
kind of
really quick, if you guys want to get
Yeah.
in the Discord, we let someone in, 2 people in yesterday. It's only by request, and you have to be active in the MCG chat. So you gotta DM us on X.
Yeah, if you're active in the chat, we know who you are. We know exactly who you are if you're active in the chat. So, like, if the more you're active, the more we recognize your name, the easier it is to let you in on the Discord. Pepe, yeah, we'll get you in there, brother. You've been on these streams.
I'll
as
get
long
you
as
the
I
link
can
right
remember.
now. I'll get you the
So-
link right now.
But like I said earlier, we have Fire coming up. Our next interview, actually a little bit over time to get started. So we appreciate Saunders' patience as he waits for us. But I think this whole thesis behind RWAs and long.xyz is connected to a much broader thesis around RWA-Fi. And I posted about this as well sometime over the weekend. But basically, there's this new sector, this new narrative, if you want to call it, with RWA-Fi. And essentially, what it is there's these new DeFi primitives that can be made using tokenized stocks and integrating that into DeFi protocols. And that's kind of what I broke down here. Basically, we see that Vlad, he encouraged builders to come build and build products that interact with tokenized stocks, whether that's by a new primitive, rewards, DeFi integrations, but ultimately it allows retail investors to bring their portfolios into crypto while staying attached to safe assets that they know on the TradFi side. Like, imagine, a token could give you rewards in tokenized stock, right? And that becomes something sort of cool to normie investors. It becomes attractive for them. but it's also something that's familiar. It's not something that they feel like is a scam, and it's being promoted by a brand that they trust. And we saw that Vlad, he followed Index the other day, which is a leader in this sector, in my opinion. But it sends a clear signal that he's paying attention, right? He's paying attention to how people are integrating tokenized stocks into their DeFi protocols. And so that brings me to Fire and what we have here with Fire. So let's go ahead and bring Sonder up. Let's get his thoughts on what they're building, what's happening over there with Fire. And I believe they bridged from Base as well. So a lot to dig into. Sonder, welcome back on the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
For sure. We actually just recently had Sonder on the show as just a kind of a trader here, but we know that you absolutely loved the tech with Fire. So I want to just kind of get the audience caught up as to what it was before and what it is now.
Sure. And I was listening in on your talk with Artificial Inu and just the entire thesis around tokenized stocks, and I'm totally in alignment with it. I think this is going to be a huge focus for Vlad, for the Robinhood team. So I think the space is going to be huge in terms of the people who can win. Obviously, it looks like they'll be one of the winners. I think there'll be more. So in terms of the upside, huge. Now, Fire is a project that I basically helped run on Base maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I think we started in April, and it died. It failed. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but I think 3 big reasons, which was 1, the taxes were just a standard tax. So it was a 4-4 tax, 4 for buy, 4 for sell. And because it was a standard tax, there wasn't a lot much you can do with it. We did change it eventually, but what it did was it reduced the trading volume on that pair. And because a lot of the fees, or all the fees, were coming from trading volume, it basically slowed everything to a grind, right? It slowed it to a halt. No one was really trading, people were holding, but if people are holding, no one's getting paid. With what we did with Fire on the V2 on Robinhood chain was that it's been a 1% buy and a 3% sell on a DK. So it slowly goes down every day you hold, down to 1%. And so the trading volume's been pretty good on it. People have been getting rewards. And I think what really spurred me to look at Robinhood chain and just to take another shot at it was, 1, I hate, I really don't enjoy having people lose money because of me. And I know there were people who are active every day in that Telegram chat. If the market cap was like 19,000, but there will be people there, they log in, they'll check their streaks, which is every day you hold, you get a streak. So you can think of it like Strava, or any sort of Snapchat, any sort of Duolingo streak. People love it. And it's a bit more than just the money for them. It's a bit more than the investment. It becomes a part of their identity. And I think that was a really strong aspect of it that made me want to go ahead with the relaunch, because there's a lot of people who are holding this token. They still really enjoyed the concept. They still really were attached to identity. And what we did was when we migrated it to Robinhood chain, all of their streaks remained intact, and their value of their tokens remained intact. So, a lot of them went from the market cap of it being, 19K, and then they woke up and the next day I think it hit like a 2.5 million market cap on launch. Now it's sitting a bit lower than that. But the second part of why Base failed was because it was paying out rewards in Fire. And if you pay out rewards in the token that you're holding, then all that is sell pressure on the coin. And so that was fixed, and that's now tokenized stocks. So it's a basket of stocks which change from time to time, but right now is being distributed Apple, NVIDIA, Tesla, and I believe the last one was, I just sold it. So let me take a look. AMC. So basically what happens is, you get stocks for holding. And what I believe, because there's a space for this in terms of tokenized stocks, RWA, and the focus on the Robinhood chain from the team, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for people to build in different ways. And we can see that in what's being built with long.xyz. You can see that in Index. You can see that in all these other different applications. People are building perp platform. People are building, baskets where you can copy trade people. There's a lot of really cool tech being built around this. And so with Fire, what I really wanted to do was just make it extremely simple. And simple just means you hold it. The longer you hold, you get a streak, and then you are paid more of the share of the pool depending on how long you hold. And I think that is one of the biggest dopamine reinforcements, where people, they hold, and then the longer they hold, they want to hold longer, and it just becomes sort of this reinforcing cycle. And I'll stop there because I know I've been rambling a bit. If you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah, no. I guess my question is how did you guys solve that for that first problem? So you mentioned that people are holding, not many are trading, so that's going to be reduced, like fees that you can redistribute. In this case, you're buying tokenized stocks, but so I mean it's a little different. So you don't have to sell off the Fire to kind of cause bad movement on the chart. But how do you solve for the trading fee problem?
Yeah, so the buy fee is set to 1% regardless. So that was a big part. People don't really think about, in my opinion or in my experience, when you talk to people, they don't think about the sell as much as the buy, right? And because it's not actually a standard tax anymore, it's a V4 hook. It's not attached to the token itself. It's attached to the LP pair. So when you buy it, it just like any other thing, like when you buy index or any of these other V4 LP tokens, you're basically not seeing it as a headline tax. You're just seeing it, with it is being taken, but it's not as in your face. So people are more likely to trade it.
Got it. Okay. So you fix the taxes. Now, how have things been since launch so far? I mean, I know it was pretty recent. It's launched within the last, I think, day or two, maybe 3 days. But how's kind of reception been so far?
Oh man, people love it. Like I was really going on the bag working thing, for months on Fire, and a lot of people, they didn't really like it just because at the end of the day, it was a standard tax reflection token, and that has been done so many times, SafeMoon, etc. My twist on it was the retain, holding, and the whole basically paying people depending on how long you hold it, not your bag size. I think that resonates with a lot of smaller traders because not everyone has $100,000 to go put into this project. If you have the thought and the ability to be able to say, yeah, I don't have the biggest bag, but I can hold longer. I believe in the conviction of this project, and because of that, I will be rewarded. So rewarded and Fire sounds all right. People, it did all right. I think it hit a few $1 million in market cap, but to be rewarded for holding stocks, I think that really changes the mindset of a lot of people because of the fact that stocks overall, as an investor in stocks, as an investor in the S&P 500, etc., you are rewarded for patience. So it really just aligns more of, hey, I can just buy Fire, I get stocks, and I don't have to pay attention to this thing. I can just sit there and let it compound. And the cool thing is I've had basically I had our dev look at the numbers and the metrics. So we have on the website as a counter 1,594 wallets have received their first ever tokenized stock. So that just means they don't have a tokenized stock on their wallet before for that. I believe it's around 3,000 holders right now, but I'll have to double check. And yeah, so I think in general, the alignment with the Robinhood ecosystem is really big because one, we have a really compelling reinforcement loop, which is the streak, right? We can look at the streak across many different apps and domains where people just love accumulating that. And so what we want to build is just really lean in on this adoption engine, which is get the normies, get the people who really want to, get on chain. They want to, buy their tokens. They want to get paid for doing the least amount of things they need to do, and they don't want to go into the trenches and try to catch every runner. Instead, they can just find something where they can get paid in stocks. If Fire goes down, their stocks are not correlated, right? So I think it's a huge compelling way to bring people into the loop in terms of, hey, a lot of these crypto guys, they don't have any stocks. I wasn't even investing in stocks until this cycle. I just wanted the high risk, high return. And so you still have that sort of degen side of things with Fire because it is a low cap. It is a very risky gamble. Like anything below the top 100 is a gamble, right? So this is a shitcoin at the end of the day, regardless of what I say. It's just a shitcoin, but you get stocks paid out of it, and it does it in a different way than the other ones because a lot of them are building really cool stuff. That's not our lane. Index is followed by Vlad. They have a moat. That's not our lane. Their standard V4 reflection tax, so they pay for 3% on buys and 3% on sells. And so that's rewarding your bag size, right? You have a big bag, you get paid more on those stock dividends. Fire does something different where we really want to bring in people who just want to sit there and they want to be rewarded and incentivized for being a bag holder, which mechanically hasn't been done in crypto. I can go on more about that, but I'll stop there.
No, expand on that for me. I'm interested to see how did tell me more about that.
Yeah, so in crypto, right? We really have been trying to bring back the trenches, and a huge part of that is by getting people to hold longer. Now, when you hold longer in crypto, you don't really get recognition for that. You don't really get like a tier status. You don't get any rewards for that. Most of the time, it's if you are recognized on the timeline or in the groups as a bag worker. And there has been done in different ways in crypto, though, in terms of mechanically incentivizing people to hold longer. And that can be in staking, with lockups, with vestings, queues for unbonding. This was back in the Ohm days and the Ponzi fork days. V curve, lockup for 4 years. So all of these things, they were ways to get you to hold longer, and they rewarded you for it. But they also removed your ability to sell if you changed your mind. And what I wanted to do with Fire in terms of this, like in terms of the messaging and just the way I wanted to communicate it was, hey, Fire doesn't prevent you from selling. What we want to do is make selling your worst option or your worst decision, right? Because when you sell, your fees go to pay everyone else that's holding. Your share of the pool goes and resets back to zero. And so it makes sense if you believe that Fire is something compelling that you would hold longer because you do get benefit for that. And in that sense, one thing that came up as I was doing research around just like loyalty, just in terms of incentives, is looking at airlines. United Airlines loyalty program was worth $21 billion in 2020, which was 2 times their market cap, which was around under 10 billion. American Airlines, 30 billion, about 4 times this market cap. So in terms of loyalty and just having points and just being able to use that within the economy, obviously airline points cannot be exchanged for money, right? But in the sense of having people's loyalty, rewarding them for that loyalty is extremely profitable and extremely big space or market size, right? And so what Fire does is it says, hey, you are loyal, so we are going to track it. We're going to give you tier status. We're going to give you payment. You're going to get paid for it. And from that, you can now have ownership in this chain. And I think that's very compelling to Robinhood Chain overall, because Robinhood Chain wants people to own stocks. They want them to use the RWA layer. And there's a lot of cool ways that people are doing it. But this is how I think Fire can be a piece of that puzzle. It's not going to be the biggest piece of the puzzle. We're not building anything truly innovative here. What we have is, I believe, over 50%, I think it's 54% of top 100 holders from base that were migrated over have not sold a single token. That's 4 months, and after it went down 95%. So you have people who really are invested in not just the price, they're invested in their streaks, they're invested in that loyalty to the protocol. And so that's where I think the piece is for Fire to really shine, because you have this thing where it's very easy. Like a normal person trading stocks on Robinhood can understand what it means. They might not go and try all the perp platforms. They might not try all these different crypto native implementations of RWA and tokenization of stocks. But they can buy Fire, hold Fire, earn stocks. The longer you hold, the more you get paid. That's the pitch.
Nice. I mean, I think overall, like Fire is very it's very simple, right? Like it's very straightforward in terms of its mechanics.
Mhm.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, like when I was going into my thesis, but I just wanted to get your take on like the RWA Fi and like kind of all that, just how Fire is positioning itself on Robinhood. Walk us through like that side of things.
Yeah, I mean, you can see immediately when I think the easiest trade on Robinhood ecosystem in general, don't if you don't want to take all the risks and be in the trenches all day, you just look at the projects that Vlad followed. He followed Cashcat, he followed Pawns, which is the Launchpad, and he followed Index. So these are all he from what I understand, people who have talked to the Robinhood team, he knows ball. He knows you're not supposed to dilute your attention in crypto, because once you do, you can look at what Brian did, right? On base. So he knows the game, right? He knows ball. And so he followed three things in three different categories. But what that tells you is that these are categories that he's interested in. Robinhood also has posted on their official platform about really wanting to support AI agents. So look out for his fourth follow. If you bet on those projects, I think you will do well in the medium to long timeline. Now, how big each category gets, that depends on how bullish you are on Robinhood Chain. I am extremely bullish. I think Brian and Base have shot themselves in the foot, so they're out of the competition now. Like everyone who was their most ardent supporter was completely rinsed. Like I know a lot of people who just bridge back to the chain to buy it, and then we see what happens.
Can we talk about that can we like just sidetrack for a second? Walk me through your reaction to Brian Armstrong and the tweet, the infamous tweet.
I'll just pull up Nate Diaz when he says, I ain't surprised, motherfuckers. Because I've been on base since Toshi. Oh, I was there for the bald launch when it rugged. Now I think about it, like, could I even be them? Because I feel like they have zero respect for the people who are actually on-chain trading, the people who use their platforms. They really care about AI agents and trading and all the X402 volume. But it's just, they've never really shown themselves to be aligned with the culture. They didn't list the memes when the attention was there, when people really were supporting the ecosystem because they believed in the ecosystem, because they believed in the culture. And we can see just countless examples of them pivoting away from really trying to understand their users. And maybe it works out in the long term, but as a trader, as someone who's incentivized to use a chain or a protocol or a platform based on whether or not you can get rewarded for it, whether or not the ecosystem can support, you are trying to make money, right, as a trader. And I think that they fail on that. So him doing this profile change, I think he knew what he was doing. I don't think he cares about what he was doing. He knows that people are going to get rinsed, but I don't think that really matters to him. Someone said, I forgot where I read the tweet, but they're really interested, and they really focus on the metrics. They really want to know how much volume is going through. They want to know how much AI agents are being trading on their protocol, on the infra layer. They're really concerned about that. But in terms of the individual trader who is like, hey, the CEO just changed his profile picture to this meme coin, like, what kind of that's an endorsement, in my opinion, and it's for anyone who would be trading. And so when he changed it after that, it was just like, yeah, you don't really respect the people who are going to be trading on your chain. Sure, there's mercenary capital, but when you have the other founders and the other role models or the leaders of each category, you have Vlad on Robinhood Chain, you have Ansem on Solana, and like they know that what they're doing is going to be extremely consequential. So Vlad is playing it perfectly. He's giving slight nods to this and that. He knows where he wants his ecosystem. Ansem, he has a perpetual airdrop of his tokens to anyone who's supporting Solana, the different protocols. He's pointing it to those protocols for people to use them. Like, then you have Brian, who just rinses everyone that has ever supported him. So it's just I'm not surprised, and it's just another pattern that you could see over time.
Sandra, there was someone asking about what the Fire token is on Robinhood. I have it here, 0x43EE. I'm assuming that's it.
Yeah, it should be on our website, and yeah, it should be on our website.
Yeah, go check the website, retirewithfire.org, and you can find it.
Got it. So just kind of like we kind of sidetracked it a little bit there. But I thought that was really important just to kind of get a sense of like the temperature, on base and just the overall view of base chain. And I think you're absolutely right. It just doesn't seem like there's there doesn't seem like there's this push to engage with the community. I mean, it's like, these degens ultimately they're the ones that are, driving activity and volume on your platform. Like no one else has the risk appetite to bridge onto some chain and trade tokens and stuff like that, other than your average everyday trencher. And I think that's an important demographic to kind of keep close. I mean, ultimately, that's the community that will like ride for you and be, that evangelist of your platform. And I felt like Base had that with so many people, and I don't know why at a certain point. I mean, wait, maybe I can see why. Maybe I can see why. But like after so many blunders, they still had so much like diehard support. And I think now that like this was the nail in the coffin to me.
You know what's extremely hilarious to me when they said when base Jesse from base was writing that long paragraph or essay about how he had made mistakes and he was stepping down from like a role in base, but everyone assumed that he was stepping down from base. And I just saw base coins start like going up, and I just saw everyone like bridge over, and it's like no, guys, Kobe is not running everything on base. I'm just he's just doing the base app. I'm still here, and then you just see everyone like bridge right back off, and I was like, it's just yeah, I don't know. I think Kobe, he if Kobe were to actually be listened to, I think he could, definitely change the direction and the momentum on base. I mean, pre Brian profile change. I think that's just it's just a it's it's such a consequential move in the sense that you spit in the faces of everyone who really just wanted to
Yeah,
support you.
1000%. 1000%. Agreed there. But we sort of detoured from the fire discussion to talk about that briefly. So now that we're back on the fire discussion, where did we leave off? It was more so about your positioning within the Robinhood ecosystem, and you were kind of going through the thought process there.
Yeah, in terms of the Robinhood ecosystem, I think that there's way higher ceilings. You can just look at base as a comparison, and then what the market caps were on that. I think crypto sentiment, crypto majors, overall crypto as a whole is near or bottoming out in terms of price and in terms of time. So in that sense, if you make a few good positions in the leaders, like I think the biggest problem a lot of people do or make when they go to a new ecosystem, as someone who has been through, I've been through AVAX, I've been through BNB, I've been through Eth- basically Ethereum when it first started on DeFi Summer. I've been through all the different new chains. I always bridge onto them, and you really want to correlate your success on a chain with the success of the chain. And what that means, in my opinion, is that if the chain does well, you want to be positioned for that chain. In other chains, it could be holding BNB when Binance Chain comes out, which I held from $30, I believe, like $27 was when I bought it. It went up to some crazy amount. So, like, you want to be invested in whatever that leader is that is capturing all the volume and attention from that chain. The problem is a lot of people, they really want the 100x, right? And so they'll chase down and down further down the tail of the risk curve. And what that ends up doing is when you're early enough to an ecosystem, you're early enough to hit a 10x just by being aligned with the success of the ecosystem. Now, when you go all the way down to even Fire, like Fire is, Robinhood chain could do extremely well and Fire could go to zero. And that's just the truth, right? But there are going to be these tokens where if Robinhood chain does well, these tokens will do well. And so 90%, 80% of your portfolio should be in that. And I think because of how much the chain, Robinhood crypto and Vlad has been talking about RWA, I do think that ceiling on whatever it is, it could be index, it could be another project, but I think paying attention to this specific segment of the ecosystem is going to be extremely profitable. And that 10%, that 20%, whatever of your portfolio, yeah, go buy Fire, go buy, all these other meme coins. Go gamble it, and hopefully you hit 100x, and then you can feed it back into the top winners, right? So, in that sense, with the RWA stuff, I think there's going to be space for a lot of different ways to get people to adopt tokenized stocks. I think there's going to be more stuff being built, and I think the thing is you want to be looking at the things that resonate with you, because the problem with listening to a guy on a stream talk about a project is, one, he's biased. I'm obviously biased against this project because I own it, but you are not going to have the same conviction as me on this project as anyone else. I can hold from minus 95, 99%, which I did. I've held Fire for 95 days, I believe. It was like worth $800 at some point. I think it's currently worth about 40,000, but I can hold through it because I know what I want to do with it. I know what it means and what it could potentially slot into in terms of the Robinhood ecosystem. But you don't have that conviction. So you have to find the things that resonate with you, where it can go down 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. And you're going to sit there and be like, I know what I want with this. I'm going to add more. And I know I've been talking to the team. I'm in the Discord. I'm in the Telegram. I see the roadmap. I really believe in this. And if you are wrong, well, you are wrong on your own terms. And then what that does is that gives you that self-reflection on why you were wrong. And the next trade, hopefully you've taken a bit of that learning and you apply it. Now, if you follow some guy on Twitter or on X or on your Telegram or in the stream who tells you to buy X token, when it goes down and then you sell, you're gonna blame him when you're gonna blame the person you listen to, right? So you never really learn that accountability.
Nice. Nice. Cool. So I think that kind of like goes through a lot of the mechanics around Fire, goes through your positioning. I guess, what are you guys looking forward to? What are you working on? What are you excited about right now when it comes to Fire?
Yeah, the thing we want to do with Fire is really just hone in on just the one thing, right? Which is we're not trying to build all these product features on top of this. We don't want to try to make it more complicated than it really has to be. What we want to do is just make it extremely simple for people to understand, for people to share. So our North Star is basically we want to be an adoption engine for tokenized stocks. That just means you are, for the first time as a crypto native or a crypto trader, getting tokenized stocks. So you get that in your wallet and you now see, hey, this is really super cool. I have NVIDIA stocks for holding this. Like that should be the light bulb aha moment. The distinction between us and everything else is that most of these other RWA stuff, they're kind of complicated games. There's ones where you have to buy an NFT, you have to burn it so you can activate your rewards, and you have to, do this and that, and you get points for doing different things. Those are all super cool. I love them. That's not what Fire is. It's just you buy it, you have a streak. That streak is going to be, gamified a bit, but it'll be all basically down to your streak. It'll be easy to share. It'll be super cool looking. You just want to build out that P&L card, build out the dashboard so you can share it, so you can know what you're getting. You can see the stocks you're getting. And then, so everything revolves around that, keeping it simple, and it's keeping it fun for people to really join the community, and just, keeping each other on point, keeping each other accountable, which is just like someone on a Strava group chat, whereas, you see that they're still holding it's 95 days, 100 days, and you kind of be like, hey, I want to be there. And I think it all ties back into the overall crypto culture, which is we're really seeing that pendulum swing from these scalpers, this Solana sort of ecosystem, habits. I mean, it's not Solana's fault completely, but the trading bot sort of meta, which I think is dying out because of the fact that a lot of these people, they saw themselves making 5 or 10 SOL on these trades, and then the guy who just did nothing at all, it's up $1 million on Ansem, up $1 million on Pawns, it's up $1 million on all these other things, right? So it's just like,
Yep.
If you really simplify that and just bring it down to the very basics, is, hey, we want you to buy buy this coin, and then we want you to, be a part of the community, but we don't want you to do anything that involves getting back in the trenches. We want that money that you make to be in the stocks, because at least with stocks, if you look at the S&P 500, it's been doing well. So we want people to be as PVE as we can in terms of the ones who are loyal and holding for longer.
Got it. Sounds good. Well, I think that pretty much wraps for at least for me answers all my questions. But Sonder, we appreciate you coming back on and giving us the lowdown on fire. I mean, I think it's a great protocol. It's in a great sector that has like a really explosive potential. So yeah, I mean, as you guys, build stuff out and as you get more traction and stuff like that, definitely we want to keep eyes on you guys and feel free to come back on whenever there's an update.
Yeah, what we have right now is on the front page. We have the wallets receiving their first ever tokenized stock counter, and I think that's going to be compelling for someone like Vlad. And it as long as adoption continues, because then once you get to 10,000 or whatever and 20,000 numbers of people who are getting these tokenized stocks, I think that really is aligned with what their mission is, which is to get these stocks into as many people's hands as they can. And Fire is going to be one way to do it. Index is going to be another way to do it. There's going to be other protocols out there who are doing it in their own unique ways. And I think as a trader, it's up to you to find what it resonates with you. It's up to you to find what really you think is going to be compelling and can take the top 1, 2, and 3 spots. And so, yeah, a lot of opportunity here. I think you as a trader have, like, after that year-long winter that we've had, it's just so many cool things are being built, and keep your eyes open for all the cool shit that's going to be built, and take a chance.
100%. 100%. Couldn't agree with you more. Sonder, really appreciate you. Looking forward to the next segment when you're back with us again.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on again.
All right. Take care.
See ya.
Here we go, guys. I have the Fire dashboard on the website. 1,600 wallets received their first tokenized stocks through Fire. So, yeah, I think it's a really good narrative, interesting narrative.
I mean, dude, it's really early days. Like I said earlier in the macro segment, I do think that there is a pullback in the works for Bitcoin. So what I would like to do is just, again, make a watch list of all these projects that you find interesting, not just on Robinhood, definitely not on Base, but more so on Robinhood and Solana. Make a list of projects that you like. When the markets take a turn for the worst, let's see if we can snag some Jenny entries, bro. Because I think maybe the pullback might not be that bad for the Robinhood eco, but I think it could. We'll see. We've had a few really good pullbacks here.
I mean, Vex looks pretty good. Cash Cat's looking interesting. Pawns did amazing overnight from our chat yesterday. Like, even Sherwood is up.
Yeah, I think Sherwood is going to do so good. I told you guys that after the interview. I literally said I think Sherwood is going to cook, because Robinhood said they're focused on agentic trading. So, and that's exactly what the guys at Sherwood are working towards, right? Like they're all about agentic trading. So I'm bullish on anybody that's building something truly innovative, truly competitive in any of the niches that Robinhood is interested in. I mean, like Saunders just said, just look at who he followed, look at who his team is following, and just look at that from a sector standpoint and notice that, okay, like they're interested in memes, they're interested in AI agents, agentic trading, like they're interested in our RWAs. This is just the beginning. Take notice of those moves that they're making, and then just position in those narratives, and eventually we'll get something worth holding on to here. Real quick, just wanted to cover this because apparently this is being said to be one of the better pump fund updates. Apparently there's a pump fund update today. So let's cover it real quick. And honestly, Josh, I'm probably gonna jump. I'm losing steam quick here.
Yeah. We'll get that news covered real quick, and then yeah.
So here's the pump fund news. Introducing Boost Mode, the new standard launch mechanism for every new pump fund coin. Over 100 million in dead liquidity is lost every year when tokens migrate. Now we're re-injecting future liquidity into every bonded coin. Okay, let's watch this video.
Higher ceilings. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I guess it's exactly what the name implies. It's a boost that tokens get upon migration for 5 minutes. Okay, I mean, I don't know if that's like the greatest update ever, but it definitely I guess that's a good thing.
Well, tokens bond at what is it? It's I thought it was 17 Sol. And tokens bond at like 50K, maybe 30K now. I don't even know exactly. So it's 17 Sol at 80. It's like $1,000 worth. And it's just buy orders. I didn't know what happened to that liquidity previously. Why that liquidity was dead. Does it say where does it go before?
No, it did not. Just liquidity's locked. So I'm not really sure where it's coming from, but
yeah, interesting. Proof is in the pudding. I mean, at the end of the day, like, if tokens start running, then there you go.
Yeah, that's more of what I'm waiting on. I mean, we already have natural runners, and I'll put the emphasis on natural. We don't need no bids on bonding in order to push ceilings high. Ceilings are already high on Robinhood. You know what I mean? So honestly, right now, just from a trading standpoint, I can see myself exclusively trading more so on Robinhood for the time being. I think there are a few outliers, a few things that are interesting elsewhere, like the MetaDAO ecosystem, for example. I think that that continues to do well. Obviously, MetaDAO's projects, they've historically been really good from a fundamental standpoint. It's just a matter of the market trading these things and valuing these projects the way they should be valued. But stuff like Avicii, Credible, I mean, those things should be much higher. Umbra should be much higher. No one it's just a sleepy market. People aren't paying attention to MetaDAO, but I think that's a very nice investable ecosystem. Something else on Solana is Fraudsworth. I think that's really nice. That's a really nice ecosystem. But outside of that, like, I'm really focused on Robinhood right now. And yeah, I mean, you guys see, I guess I can just real quick, go through a few, but just a few. Wallet. Obviously, we've talked about Wallet, the lore behind it. We mentioned that, I believe it was last week. We talked about that. This hit my nice little key zone here. I'm testing out the pivot entries on Robinhood as well. Looks like they're starting to play out. That was one. Another that I'm looking at here is Fletch. This is another like tokenized stock integration. It's basically a new DeFi primitive. They basically split up the stock and the dividend that you get from the stock into two separate tokens, and then the stock dividend becomes an on-chain tradable asset. So I think that's a new like composable DeFi primitive that can be, there's a lot that could possibly be done, be built on top of that, but still trying to figure out if from a security standpoint, still trying to make sure that the protocol is safe and stuff like that.
Karma's been grinding.
Yeah, Karma's looking good. AMC is looking really good as well. We've been talking about that one, had eyes on that in the Discord, sub 100K. That's over 10x higher.
What is AMC at? Oh no, it's over 1 million. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's at 1 million right now, exactly. And it looks like Crypto Calio, big guy on Twitter, on crypto Twitter, but more of a Chad guy, like not known for trenching or anything like that, mostly known for like legit TradFi, high cap stuff. Like this guy, Crypto Calio. I've followed him for a long time. I've been privileged to be on some of his spaces back in the day. And he's just really good dude, 725K followers. Like he has, NFT stuff that he did, but like literally he's like into tendies and he's talking about AMC. And I'm like, this guy does not trench at all. like at all. But Robinhood is pulling these people, you know, back into the game, right? So really love to see the momentum that's picking up.
Vex
Another
is a 2x from when they were on stream the other day.
Vex, and you mentioned another one right before AMC, Karma. Let's review that one as
Karma.
well. I'll put that on the list. But yeah, we see Vex here.
Look at that. That's such a gorgeous chart. Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
the chart's been good. Yeah, about 130% off the bottom. Chart has been looking really, really solid. And, you know, nice little, even you can even say the pivot entry on this worked out too. Can even say the pivot
This
entry
was
worked out.
400K. I faded this pretty painful fade.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. 100%. Let's see what else we got. Karma. It's crazy that Karma was sitting at like 400K, sub 400K on Solana, but you know, with now being on Robinhood, with the exposure, the distribution that you get from, you know, launching on Robinhood, you know, look at them over 3 million now. So nice little nice moves here happening on nice moves happening here with Karma.
Karma looks like it could have like just a leg up, you know, and
Yeah.
people understand the story and you know, watching the volumes grow. I think he hit 2 mil. I think he just sent us a tweet. Let's see. I have
While you pull that up, Josh, hey Pepe, send the CA in the Discord. Send the CA in the Discord and I'll pull it up.
so here we go. Okay. Karma has a flywheel update.
Calio about to lose all his reputation. Yeah, dude, I was wondering, dude, this guy, I get it. You're in the trenches now, but I was like, man, like that's a lot of tickers in one go. That's a lot of tickers in one go, buddy. Because the HMM ticker, the Cat ticker, that one just launched like yesterday or the day before. Then he starts shilling AMC, and then it's Tendies, or at least he started with Tendies, and then AMC, and then the token. And I was like, man, like this guy just came out in full force from like not trenching to like all up in the Robinhood trenches. But hey, look, if Robinhood is getting people with like, I mean, over 700K followers, that's massive distribution. That means more retail folks are getting involved. And Calio has a big retail audience. Like he's more like stocks and stuff like that. Like he's very, very normie friendly. So, hey, look, if Robinhood is doing what they need to do to attract, you know, huge influencers like that can get more attention onto the chain, onboard more capital, more exposure for the chain, etc. Like, shoot, I'm all for it. Yeah. I don't think I'm personally gonna touch it either. No FUD, but I'm more of a natural what's the word? Organic. There you go. I'm more into organic runners. Like sure, the cabals will run it up, they'll crime it up for sure. But I'm more of an organic type of guy. And at least that's where my edge personally is. I feel is not identifying which cabal will send what next, but it's more so what will the market reprice and based on what the market actually likes. And I think that's more so where I have an edge. But yeah, go ahead.
So we got to give Amrix a shout out here. 95% of every swap fee in Karma buys Karma back automatically for the next 90 days. The other 5% goes to charity. 22 buys, 10,000 deployed to buy back 2.7 million Karma off the market. And now a good chunk of the supply, Karma supply, is actually already off the market. It's actually, you know, given, go watch our virtuals day where Don talks about, is it the ACF automated something? So ACF mechanism, where I think only like 30 or 40% of the Karma supply is actually circulating. And a good chunk is off the market. But yeah, and he matched the 5K with 5K of his own money, bought back 10K. There's something here with this with Amrish, and I just think this could have like a bit of a moment as people bridge over, try it, buy the token. Like FOMO doesn't have a token. Everyone missed the upside of that. And so this does. And let's see some of the stats. Dom is a user and a token holder. Dinero Dom. Let's see if I can share this. Total volume. I mean, he says he has 5,000 users here, which is impressive. Total active users, 228, which is probably more accurate. This was probably a lot of older users, I would assume. But then it says 40%. Doing, 60, 70K per day. One to watch, definitely one to watch. I know Game is talking about this all the time too, but I mean these numbers are pretty interesting. If he finishes the month way higher. Trading volume's 1.2. So seems like this is growing 4%, and 0.8% for banking volume. So there you go. I don't know. Worth keeping an eye on. Definitely finding some PMF.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's looking good. Man, proud of Emrich. I mean, shout out him, going from like, I remember when we first interviewed him last year, not a lot of Robinhood people might know this, but last year, he's in his apartment, no bed, literally just an air mattress and a blanket and nothing else. Or actually, no, I think it was empty. No,
it was pure.
Or was there I think it was just an empty apartment. And he's literally said like, hey bro, like I'm just building a business and this is what I'm focused on right now. Literally empty apartment. I'm talking no TV, no pictures, like talk about a locked in founder. So, and now here he is, having actual users of the app. So yeah, I love what he's doing. Excited to see what he gets into. Excited to see what he gets into as well. But outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all we got for the day today. We went over.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is if you're on Solana, go delim on Meteora. And, right now I'm just delimming CashCat. I hope Solana or Sunrise / Meteora lists more tokens off of Robinhood. It would be sick to have tendies and all these things. And I'd love to provide liquidity. Like I want the price action exposure to what's going on in Robinhood, but like, I don't know. I do like Solana personally. But look, you got to be in both places, I think is the story here, but go to meteora.ag-ref-mcg, and go set up your delim wallet, stake your MET tokens, and go delim CashCat and other Robinhood tokens as they come on Solana. Yeah. All right, chill.
Sounds good. Well, guys, you know what we're gonna do to wrap up the show. You already know we do this every single time. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to @MCG Live. We appreciate all 800, almost 900 of you in here. Appreciate all of the love and the support. Make sure you go to @MCG Live. Make sure you're hitting the follow button. We're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time, at 12 p.m. Eastern time. If you just joined us because you are watching any of the interviews, we do this regularly. We do this every single day. We cover alpha. We cover what's happening on chain, and we have a lot more planned for you guys. So you want to hit the follow button, stay up to date with what we're doing. Appreciate you guys for 12.7K. Man, we're like hyper growth right now. So we really appreciate you guys. Go to the pinned tweet. And I know it's the end of the stream, but they can always go back and watch the stream and watch all the interviews that we did. So go ahead and click like, RT, follow MCG Live. For
maybe worth pulling up the link tree as well.
Yeah, let me do that here. If you go to the link in our bio, and that's loading. Here we go. If you go to the link in our bio, you can see all of the relevant MCG links. So you use the ref code for Meteora for delimming. You have that. You have our YouTube for where all the full segments are posted. You have our Twitch if you ever want to watch us from a different platform, and then you also have our stream notes on MCG Alpha, and we'll also be including some other stuff on MCG Alpha as well here soon. So that's the links. If you go to the link in our bio, you can check out all of that stuff. We have more coming soon, more interviews, more everything. Tomorrow we have another banger stream for you, so you can always come back and watch us then. Here is the schedule real quick for tomorrow. Very exciting times tomorrow. First interview of the day will be with the Long.xyz founder, Nate. I think that'll be a great interview and one worth paying attention to. Then we have another one, Clutch Markets, with Stockbrokers. That was another runner on Robinhood, and I'm very interested to dig into that. And so we have a lot here coming up. Gonna be an exciting day tomorrow. We had an exciting stream today with Gummed Out Fun, with basically meme coins that have built-in prediction markets. We saw Fire, getting rewarded with tokenized stocks for the longer you hold, and we had CNX as well. So all great interviews. We appreciate you guys tuning in here today. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Some absolutely banger interviews lined up. We appreciate y'all. We'll love y'all. We'll see you on the timeline and in the Discord. Deuces.